Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another Buster Wolf podcast. I called this the non-E3 Warzone because they revealed a bunch of fighting games at not E3, which is Xbox Showcase, State of Play, and the very boring Summer Games Fest. But we'll talk about all the stuff we see from there for fighting games and beat 'em ups. I'm your host, Renegade Operative, and I'd like to introduce my panel. First, we have Rad.
Fighting games are both the worst genre and the best genre simultaneously after this week.
Oh, we're definitely going to delve into it as soon as we get there. Next up is Mr. Andre. Introduce yourself, good sir.
Yo, it's Andre B, man. We got Injustice 3 before Injustice 3 and a new Marvel fighting game for Marvel vs. Capcom. Plenty good news. Nothing, some big reveals, but also other reveals we've known for a while. So yeah, looking forward to this.
Next up is Ronan. Introduce yourself, good sir.
Get ready for the fight of your life. A lot of fighting games coming out this year, this year, and we're gonna be talking a lot about certain forgettable titles. I don't know. But hey guys, how y'all doing?
There's a couple of memorable ones, a couple of sleepers, but we'll get to it indeed. Next up is Kaneki. Introduce yourself.
NRS better pick up their pace, Warner Brothers, because I'm gonna laugh if Invincible turns out to be the next, their next MK of fighting games.
Considering how people are mad about a certain subject, I guess we'll wait and see, but I'm gonna hold my judgment there. Let's get right into it. Drill's late, he's an asshole, so I'm just kidding. But when he comes in...
Yes, not fellas.
Damn, well, when he comes in, he can introduce himself. We're gonna get right into question number one. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. This is a new 4v4 game from Arc System Works. What do you feel about this game? Kaneki, go first.
Hello, Marvel Tokon. Goodbye, Guilty Gear as a series. Out of all the projects Arc Systems has been announced, has been updating lately, this one takes the cake for me. This is their huge project, considering also PlayStation Studios is funding the project. My only issue with this project is, yes, Sony is funding it. The fact that for consoles only, you only have to get a PlayStation to play it, which I hope they change that down the line, but hey. That's my only negative so far with this game. But I am excited for it. I can't wait to see what characters they add besides the ones we already know, which a certain other game can't handle to announce 8 characters. 2XK.
Rad, what do you think about this question so far from what you've seen with the crazy Marvel Tokon reveal?
This is a 4v4 tag fighter, and the only major concern I have is how you're going to justify 4v4 on a PlayStation controller. Like, what are your buttons going to be? You obviously have normal attacks, special attacks, and super attacks, and some type of assists, and normally, how taggy is this fighter? Is it active tag like in Marvel Infinite? Can you actually play this game with 1 active character and 3 assists? I have so many questions, not the least of which is, why isn't this Capcom? Did Marvel Infinite really salt the earth for that badly? But obviously, like many people here, I am curious about the roster. How high it is going to be should be a question above all, because the typical 24-character roster isn't going to cut it in a 4v4 game. We're going to see a lot of, what do you call it? We're going to see a very homogenous roster. But I'm looking forward to hearing more about this game, and particularly what that godforsaken control scheme is going to be.
Ronan, it is your turn. What do you think of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls?
one of my most anticipated fighting games of 2026. And like Rad Rad, I'm actually trying to say, what is the controls going to be like? How the assists are going to work? What type of characters we're going to see? And I really hope. And also, this is another question: what's the health bar going to look like? Like, this is 4v4. Are these health bars going to be small? Are they going to be large? Are they going to be like fighters? Like
Are
anyone?
they all going to
Is
be
anyone?
shared?
Yeah, that's
My
another good question.
theory is it's all gonna be one health bar.
Oh boys. I mean, if that happens, I'm okay with that. That makes, matches very quick instead of just long string of combos. I'm looking at you. Looking at you, Dragon Ball Z fighters. Still love that game though, by the way. But that's all I can say about Marvel 2K. Marvel 2K. One of my most anticipated games of 2026.
All right, it's my turn. So, Capcom fumbled the ball hard with us. No, I'm just joking. I know there was a lot of people sort of saying that, oh, now they sort of jumped the ball on this with Arc System Works, and where's another Marvel versus Capcom? Where the fuck is it? But
They
okay,
should be upset though. I'm not gonna lie. Capcom had the very right to be upset.
that's true, yeah, and it's gonna fill the void for me currently, but it all depends on how the game plays. I think it looks fucking great, actually. One aspect that does have me curious is 4v4, like everyone else has said, how all this crazy stuff, assist is gonna jump on screen because obviously it's going to be absolutely insane. I still hope that you can still do like maybe 3v3, whatever, take it down a little bit in certain modes, but obviously the animations look fucking great. Miss Marvel, fucking Captain America, Iron Man, all the characters just look cool and badass. And I remember we were marking out for it like super hard. Soon as we saw it, I couldn't believe what was going on. It's a game that really has me excited, and I really hope that we get some sort of beta soon, just something, and play the game. I know it's a pipe dream, but I just have a feeling this is gonna be like one of the really really good ones so far. And I mean, I did like Arc System's last game. I like Strive. I was a big fan of that game. I played it for a little bit, and each time I get on it, I have some fun with it. So this one, I just want them to kick it up to the next level, and it seems they will be doing that, and I will be maining Star-Lord day one. So I'm definitely coming for people in that game for sure. I'm very excited. Andre, it is your turn. What do you think of Marvel Tokon?
I have to tell, honestly, like, everything I've seen in Marvel Tokon was fucking awesome, dude. Like, first of all, I think it's probably one of the most visually striking fighting games I've seen in a very long time. Like, I'd argue the animation quality is probably more than Strive, and one of the things I'm really excited the most for the game is the roster, because from what I've seen in the developer interviews, they want to include characters I've never been, like, let's say a Marvel fighting game. So I'm really interested to see, and in terms of characters I'd really love to see in the roster, I want to see Blade, Magic would be pretty dope. Carnage or Venom, I can take either, and maybe Magneto. Obviously, can't have a Marvel versus Marvel fighting game without Magneto, and yeah, that's about it. I'm sort of, I do have some concerns on how the gameplay is gonna go, like because like you guys mentioned about the health bars, hopefully it's not like hopefully it's fairly balanced, but yeah. So overall, I'm very excited for Marvel Token. Definitely gonna keep my eye on that game. So I think it drops next year.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So one of the things I don't think anyone has brought it up so far, but it's mainly the touch of deaths. It's gonna be one of those things where people are gonna be wondering, oh, it's gonna be one of those fighters where you just hit someone and then you get happy birthday and then you get stuffed and that's it. And then one of the background shots they showed Daredevil just sitting back there, Matt Murdock, and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, they want someone that has never been in games of this magnitude. That would be one right there. Considering I don't think it's just anything but a simple little nod or whatever, but it could come true. It could come into fruition, and I can't wait to see that. Also, Ghost Rider is another one I'm definitely gonna main in this game because he looks so fucking cool. He's sick, dude.
I
Robbie
know,
Ghost Rider.
right, bro? I know, dude. Like all the character designs look so really damn good, dude. I don't know why, but Iron Man looks like a Gundam. Like he looks like a Gundam now.
That's the point.
I just
That is
love
the
it.
point.
Yeah, it's very Japanese style with the armor and everything. I don't mind it as long as they have like that and multiple costumes, which is guaranteed to happen for sure. Like one alt or something like that, it's gonna happen.
100%.
Any other final opinions on Marvel Tokon before we move on to the next question?
How
Well-
many X-Men characters are going to be in this game that aren't Storm and Wolverine?
Okay.
Bring back Deadpool.
We need Sabretooth, but I might be asking for a bit too much. Yeah,
I vote for Punisher.
Magic,
Where's
well,
Magneto? Where's the base
armor
X-Men?
because Japanese developer.
put Cable in. Just say fuck it. I just wanted to shoot people with the beam already and have people get salty about it. So
Or make Charles playable for the first time.
Or
for
Deadpool.
Charles
I mean,
Xavier.
Professor X has been in a fighting game.
Yeah, the
But in
X-Men.
an Arxis fighting game, it would be perfect.
Let him do combos with the wheelchair. I need that shit immediately.
Yes, Mutant Academies is not going to achieve that.
Oh man.
I could go for some Kitty Pryde in a fighting game. Like, make that work somehow.
Whoa, that would be good.
Maybe Pyro. I know it's basic stuff, but it'd be cool to just have him in there, and then maybe Iceman. You know, some cool characters that never has been utilized before. But
Make Ice Woman.
I was gonna bring up a horror character, but no, I'm not gonna mention that. What's her fucking name? I know she turns into the diamonds and stuff like that. She's in Rivals too. I keep forgetting her name.
Emma Frost.
Emma Frost, yeah, big thighs. Put her in and
Oh, you know they're going to put her in that game, thanks to Rivals.
yeah, the popularity will definitely be popping. But we are moving on to question number 2. Invincible versus. This was revealed at the Xbox showcase, and this is a bloody 3v3 fighter that is being developed by the ex-developers of Killer Instinct 2013. So that's something that came out of nowhere to me. What do you guys think of this game? And I'm gonna go with Rat first.
So yeah, this is a first-time developer. I believe it's Quarter Up. They are essentially made out of people who were at Double Helix when KI 2013 was developed. Like they have Mr. John Bautista, they have Rip on Combat Designer. It's in good hands. We just talked about a superhero fighting game that was revealed a few days ago that sadly has eaten this game's lunch. There are a couple of things that do concern me, and they are the opposite things of Tokon. In Tokon, how big is that roster going to be? In Invincible versus how small is that roster going to be? Because the roster they used in the initial reveal was half Viltrumite. It's like 2 people wearing the same gray-white stuff, and distinctive characters are important for this one. I am expecting a small roster, like 16 to 20, somewhere in that department. You already have Eve, so as far as I'm concerned, everyone else is, like, cherry on top and such. This is a game I would like to see more of, and I hope we don't have to wait as long for this as we do for Marvel Tokon.
Ronan, it is your turn. What do you think of Invincible versus?
I say a little concerned, but very hyped for it. So I can say, since this is made by the same guys who made Killer Instinct, I can say it looks promising. It looks promising. Just hope it doesn't suck like a certain other mature fighting tag fighter game. We're not going to talk about that in NetherRealm Studios. But I can say, yeah, half the roster are Viltrumites, just all Superman clones. I just want to know how that works. It's gonna work. We already got Eve. I think Rex is in the game. I wonder if Battle Beasts will join the roster. Conquest. By the way, spoilers for Invincible. By the way, um, Conquest, and I hope one of the most anticipated characters. I know he's not in the show yet, but hopefully,
Okay.
hopefully we get Thrag.
Oh, look
I
who
hope we
joined.
Oh, it's the asshole.
Okay.
Hey, Drill Bit, how's it?
What's up, Drill? How you doing,
Hello,
I'm
Drill.
good.
Mr.
Sorry for
Drill?
being a bit late, but traffic.
That's fine. We just started on question number 2. We're kind of talking about Invincible versus. Unless you want to cycle back around to Tokon real quick and then talk about your thoughts on Invincible versus.
Yeah, well, I can do that. This was sorry if I interrupted.
Oh no, it's fine. It's your turn anyway.
Oh no, I was finished by the way, so you didn't interrupt me at all.
Marvel Token, yeah, not the most excited about it because I just wish it was NBC, and I'm not a fan of Arx's current Arxis with what happened with DBFZ and Strive. Mainly because DBFZ it started off good, but then they just started going to the cycle of introduce OP DLC character, warps meta, then they nerf and then repeat. Then it rinse and repeat. And also all the cast just kind of became very similar. Like everyone had similar combos, game plans. Supers were just stacking damage on each other, and they did try to fix it towards the end, but honestly, it just felt like a band-aid on the wound. Not to mention, like Labco 21 happened, and then Strive is like a whole other thing. Like I know someone pointed out saying and someone said there might be wall breaks in Marvel, and if you know how wall breaks work in Strive, yeah, that's not a good thing. And 4v4 just seems super chaotic, so I don't know how they're gonna balance that without making you have like play with like 10 buttons at once.
That's the fun
We're
part.
just gonna
I
have
don't
to
think it's
wait
gonna
and
be
see.
balanced.
Not to me. Like I'm sure people will like maybe it'll be fun for like the first 6 months to a year, but then watch everyone use like the same 5 or 6 characters until
Isn't that?
they introduce an OP DLC.
I was trying to mean to interrupt, but isn't that like all fighting games though? Especially these days.
Yeah, to an extent.
You find your
Especially
tier
if
and
the
then you stick with it.
Yeah. Like remember like DBFZ or in the beginning where everyone would use Bardock or Cell and like almost everyone played the same teams. Same I guess that's the same with Marvel too.
I'm guilty of that.
On honestly, it's just wait and see for me. I would have just preferred NBC more, but that's just personal bias. Maybe if they put out a beta and then I'll try it, but I'm just more cautious about it considering about mainly because of current art system works.
Ironically, I was gonna say that for the invisible question. Speaking of, Drill, what was your answer for the invisible question?
Honestly, the lack of motion inputs and kind of subpar graphics and animations is what kind of makes me like not interested that much. Like, come on, even Killer Instinct had motion inputs and DPs. I mean, they had a whole tutorial system teaching you the game and stuff. I think they even had charge characters too, like Cinder.
Well, you should go
It
talk to them
was,
since they are making the game Invincible.
yeah. Honestly, the graphics are just kind of rough. They kind of remind me of, I don't know what it is, but it just looks very like not current gen. Kind of like kind of like when they tried making Killer Instinct on Xbox 360 like that. But yeah, that's for the next question. Honestly, I'll have to wait and see because Invincible. It feels weird to have Invincible as a 3v3 game of all comic books. Surprised they didn't try to make it like a versus game, like also include others like Spawn as well.
Oh,
That's
they
my
are not
answer.
doing Spawn if he was not in the show.
Yeah.
Well, I got.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that there was a crossover, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, but the crossover was like comics only. It's the same thing that happened with the Spider-Man and Batman cameo, where they decided to swap out not Spider-Man and turn it into Agent Spider, which they may very well still do in this game. We don't know, but I for one am excited about the game. It's the other question that kind of I'm saving the rest of my reservations for, but overall the big picture here is that I like that it's bloody and gory and you can do these like special finishers and knock people's heads off, so that'll be my fix for now until I play Mortal Kombat Legacy. And I like the characters they have presented so far. There are a few that I'm kind of thinking, where's Battle Beast, where's Thrag, you know, a couple of other aliens that could come in as well. There's one guy like a robot suit. He's actually pretty fucking cool, and he's in the universe too. It's a few people in here that could make it very interesting, but I don't think that I agree with Rad. I don't think that it's going to be a huge roster. I think they're going to cut it at about a certain number and then that's it. And it seems very small even on the website itself, just looking at it, but I don't know. We will have to wait and see how everything goes in that department.
Look, the goofy shit.
Especially if they want, this is based on the TV show. I don't think we're going to get anybody past season 3, so even somebody like Thrag is up in the air. Maybe DLC, depends on how fast season 4 can get its ass in gear.
Next February.
The only character I could really ask for a tag fighter like this is Duplicate.
Duplicate would be cool. I don't know about Shrinking Ray. I have a feeling that people would hate that. So it'd be like the miniature guy on Injustice 2 all over again, Adam. So I don't think people want that.
I don't know. Like, he was a weird character because his crouching animation was shrinking, so it just made him hard to play against.
That's exactly why I brought up that reference. It just depends on how they handle it, but I think people would just get fucking annoyed. So maybe I'll leave that one off the table. Cool character though. Monster Girl. It's a lot of others too.
I was gonna add on. Maybe they just blew all their budget on getting all the voice cast back.
That's also true because they do have
That wouldn't surprise me.
mostly all of them back.
I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, if you're gonna make an Invincible game, you better have the original voice actors. Otherwise, it's gonna sound weird.
Yeah. You can't have
Yeah,
Mark
but-
not sounding like Mark. It's just gonna be too fucking strange.
Yep, no Steven, yeah, it's be weird. Not be a good thing.
You do what Battle for the Grid did, and you don't have voice acting and add it later.
Oh man.
Oh, that
I
would be
think it was
bad.
actually. I'm pretty sure. On a side note, I think Battle for the Grid was the very last time like Jason David Frank ever played Tommy.
Man, R.I.P. And
And Lord Draken, by the way.
oh yeah. Man, but I'm just gonna end off. I'm very, very cautiously optimistic. There are a lot of things that I
Same
like,
here.
few things that it's like but that's kind of how I feel. I want to see more progress on it though. I've been very interested seeing the breakdowns of Maximilian and him talking more about the game, and he's also associated with it. So I thought that was a cool little reveal when he was laughing like an evil villain and saying, I knew this would come out eventually to the public. I was like, yeah, you know something that we don't, but it's cool. He's boys with the ex-KI crew, so it made sense.
Wait, can I say
So
something?
wait, by XKI crew, are we talking Double
2013.
Helix or Iron Galaxy?
Yeah, Double
Season
Helix.
1.
Yeah, season
Yeah.
one.
Season
Oh,
one.
okay. Because it gets kind of confusing.
Well, I was gonna say, I know what they could do for a joke character of some sorts. Add Debbie playable.
Dude, she get
Bruh.
she get turned
That
into a flea.
would be hilarious.
Oh man.
Is double wait, we're double on the side note, is Double Helix even still around or are they gone?
They are. They're in the Amazon mines, but they exist.
So they're basically clinging on to life, is what you're saying. Okay. Very very fascinating. Andre, did you go yet on this question?
What, Invincible?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Go right ahead if you have anything to say.
I'll keep my thoughts short. If I'm being brutally honest, I'm probably not hyped at all for this game. Like, I don't know why, dude. The animations just look so freaking ugly. Like, it looks like Death Battle animation. Like, that's what it really looks like. It just looks so unnatural, and I can understand. Grant, I get a lot of the team isn't like AAA, but it's like, dude, they could have done way more of the graphics. And I think the fact that it's gonna be like, what is it, no motion inputs? It's yeah, I'm really not sold on this game at all. I'll probably watch people play and stream it, but will I play? Maybe when it's like really cheap, like a year or two. But other than that, I have really no interest in Invincible Versus. It's a hard pass for me.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. Since this kind of ties into it with the fact that they don't have command inputs for special moves, this was seen as a big negative of the game. How do you personally feel about this? Kaneki, I want you to go on this first.
Or Invincible?
Yeah, the lack of command inputs.
I mean, that is a shame because, and you know, I would have been fine with it if it was like a rare occasional fighting game releasing without motion input. But if you starting to notice, there's been a lot of fighting games that's been coming out, and that's slowly becoming the new trend of not having like motion input as the norm. I'm like, okay, what have you shown us for the reason why you got rid of those motion inputs? So far, they haven't done that. Even if I'm optimistic as Invincible, so far they haven't shown a natural reason. Oh, we're removing this motion inputs because, you know, at least Marvel Tokon, say what you will about it if you're not hyped for it, but at least that game will have motion inputs dedication. I don't like this trend so far. That's all I gotta say.
I saw a discussion about this a couple of days ago, and someone claimed that they are doing this, and it seems like they are dumbing down the game. And one of the fears is that it feels like one of those, oh, here's modernized easy mode controls where people can sort of just mash a face button and get a move out, and you're fucked. I am extremely worried about that because everyone knows I'm not really the biggest fan of modernized controls for fighting games. I rather prefer classic motion inputs. Learning the nitty-gritty of the game. It's fine if someone wants to learn these controls, but I've experienced true hell in Street Fighter 6 with modern Zangiefs doing SPDs in like a nanosecond, and every goddamn time it happens, I get very, very annoyed. So,
Oh, that's not even the worst part. Modern Ryu or Ken's where they have instant DPs and anti-airs.
bro, it's insanity seeing half of this shit get pulled off. But I understand they take away half their moves, but I just want something that feels like readily balanced and something that I can actually learn that's intuitive. If it's a game where you have people just spamming like the easiest button layout in the world, then that just makes it feel like it's just, you know, cheap garbage in my personal opinion. But I don't know. I guess the time will tell on it. Maybe it'll be more fun than a flash in the pan. We'll see. I am liking the presentation. I do think that the graphics need to get better, but in terms of that input thing, it could go one way or the other, and I'm very skeptical on how they'll do it. Next up is Rad. How do you feel about this personally?
I'm 50-50 on the slow death of motion inputs because in the heat of the moment when you're playing an intense fighting game and you just want to be as aggro as possible, and in some cases you may end up pressing the same attack button just to get some sort of combination attack. If you press the button too many times at the wrong time, you're not going to be able to say get the combo you want. I think something like a motion input, like a quarter circle, helps sort of pause your mental capacity and allows you to kind of process the next move. I don't really get that from pressing the same button over and over for combos, and I play Grand Blue for heaven's sake. That is an option, and there's no drawback to it in Rising. I don't know. It's like a part of fighting games is going away. It's at the cost of making them bigger than they've ever been. I would just like these controls to sort of not vanish, but be more established legacy. And like, say, you're playing Ryu in Super Smash Brothers, there's a genuine reward for remembering his moves from Street Fighter and doing the motion on some analog stick. You'll get benefits from it if you do those moves. So I would like some type of legacy perk to having them in there. I don't want them to die. I just want these classic controls to have a reason to exist. Like I will play the standard direction button thing if I can help it and if the button layout is still reasonable. But we'll just have to see how it works for Invincible versus and if it can be naturally processed and isn't complete chaos.
Yeah, it needs to come to some fun compromise. If it's not either or, I don't really see the point of them even trying, to be honest. But I guess we'll see. I'll give them a fair shake. Anyone else have any sort of answers to this question?
We just need that beta.
Say,
That's true. Yes, Xbox.
I do,
you better,
actually.
You better believe. Go ahead.
Yeah.
well, I was gonna
I
say,
would. Oh, you sorry, my bad. I
sorry.
was gonna say that. Yeah, I'm pretty 50-50 on the motion controls on Invincible versus because I mean is a I play a lot of Blaze Blue and there's an option where you can play traditional controls and stylish controls. I just kind of wish they put that more into fighting games because there are some people who can't do TDDs or some kind of infinite combo or anything like that or super moves. But so I say if I had to say anything to Invincible versus is controls, I would say make it either a mode or some kind of a type of mode, kind of like how Street Fighter 6 did it and how BlazBlue does it. Just make it more, fit for more traditional or stylish controls. I like to call them because the one fighting game that used to do this like very very well was BlazBlue and Guilty Gear, like Prime Guilty Gear. But I have to say, if you're gonna do this, at least you should have made it an option for like certain players. So I say I'm 50-50 about the controls. If you make it an option, it was cool. It's cool, but I am, old school with it, so I can say yeah.
Drill, you were saying something?
Yeah, my thoughts on it is that I'm just not really a fan of them taking away motion inputs because such kind, that's such a core part of fighting games that at that point, why don't you just make a Smash clone if you're just gonna take it away, or just do like back when I started playing them, we used to have it as like a fun mode for casuals. Like NBC3 had like I think it was simple or whatever it was called, where you would just have one button that lets you do air combos and instant supers. And it was funny. And it wasn't competitive at all because a lot of moves were missing, but it was something where casuals could just mash in. But now I guess they don't want casuals to be left out and actually be able to play online. But that just kind of takes away from the core fighting game. Now, like Razrad said, there's pretty much no drawback in it for Grand Blue Versus anymore, because now you just get because now you can just get instant DPs and specials super easy now. And honestly, I feel like that's part of the fun. We're just trying to learn the combos and inputs. But now if that's all easy, then that just kind of makes the game pretty shallow. Like you're just basically chasing an audience that isn't there, because at the end of the day, casuals are just going to end up leaving once they get beat by veterans online. What you really need to do is just have more single player content. Like Soul Calibur 2 did with Weapon Master, or hell, like Tekken 6 had a story mode as well. Just have more single player content. That's how you get more casuals to play the game instead of trying to dumb it down.
I
Yeah.
have a feeling that in turn for taking away complicated motion inputs, they're instead offsetting the pressure not on execution, but on understanding all these dozens of new mechanics and quirks and combinations we're going to add to the game. Like, I don't know if I've mentioned 2XKO, but it's sort of a, like, 4 buttons, light, medium, heavy, tag button. There's so much shit you can do with that tag button. If you press this input, you'll get a quick tag, or a super tag, or like a
Yeah.
power tag, or
And then there's the
they're
whole view system, which makes things even more complex. Like at
yeah.
that point, it feels like they're just trying to go both ways, saying, "Oh, it's a fighter you can pick up and play," but at the same time, it's really complex. But it feels like they're
It's the offset of, we're going to make it simple to push buttons, but those buttons are going to do so many things at once, and you got to figure that shit out.
and then that kind of baffles the question, saying, "So you'll put all of this in, but it's too hard to do a DP or quarter circle." Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Also, that game's case is worse, since you want combos in that game for a tag fighter of League of Legends. Well, kiss it goodbye. But
I mean,
yeah,
most of those were touch of death and piss easy to come across. Much easier to come across now that the game has X Factor from the 99 start.
Good
Jesus
God.
Christ, that game has more mechanics than any tag fighters.
Yeah.
And the issue was nobody could play the newest beta because they gave it to practically no one. And the devs had to literally beg people to go online to ranked just to test out the servers.
Well, yeah, if you limited your beta to the U.S., Canada, and I think, what is it, the U.K.
Yeah,
Or
basically the Americas and parts of Europe.
And
Yeah.
also Japan.
Oh well, of course.
Yeah, like how are you supposed to try the game out if you only gave it to influencers?
The point is that you don't get to try the game out. You get to watch other people show you how cool this game is.
It's like
Yeah.
the Injustice 2 shit all over again. But go
It's
on.
Yeah.
advertising.
And then when I watched people play it, they were just playing the same two characters all the time, and I'm thinking this game just doesn't look fun to watch.
It's not fun to get mixed in that one because, yeah, Touch of Death was commonplace in the first beta.
But it was so fun.
Yeah, but wasn't that part of the thing where like one of the two assists were bugged, which unintentionally led to touch of deaths?
Possibly.
Did anyone else go for this question?
No, I think that's it. That's all I had to say. Unless Andre wants to say something.
Great. Yeah, I think I did kind of explain it last question, but yeah, like I told you, it's like I'm not really a fan of this new era of fighting games going for simpler inputs because it's not going to make you a better player. If anything, if you keep relying on auto combos or simplified special moves, you're going to essentially allow yourself to be complacent, and thus you really won't get any better. And I kind of hope well, I doubt they'll drop it because they want to get more people into fighting games, which I get to some degree. At the same time, it's like maybe just put more tutorial modes, or like actually like try to do some of the ease new players in, because I think better tutorials work better. But that's really just me personally.
Guilty Gear would agree with that, since they're the
I think this is another good point of discussion because Okay, so people have done the research, and if your game has a trophy for at least completing the tutorial, not a lot of people complete the tutorials in fighting games.
Nope.
Most of the time,
So
They
people
really
just
don't.
want to go
it's
in and
good to
play.
have it's good to sort of have it to help you learn the game, but a lot of people would rather learn through trial by fire.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
And
beyond,
also Andre, you brought up an excellent point, and it's something I do want to focus on.
What's that?
With inputs being made generally easier to comprehend, the rich get richer. The people who did the time, grinded out the combos, grinded out the frame perfect execution, they're only going to get stronger with all of these restrictions lifted. So your
Mhm.
goal for trying to get new people into these games is going to backfire, because then the people who have been playing longer than most of these casuals before they were born are only going to get better as a result.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, dude. Because like it was like the thing is like if you want to get better at anything, it's not easy. It takes like that takes time and dedication. There's like no shortcuts. There's no like shortcuts to anything in life at all.
Yep, the tools are
And
there, and if the people don't use them, then if the game is complex enough, they're gonna get destroyed, dude.
100%. Yeah, because like for example, with me, diverging a little bit, like with Street Fighter 6, like I always wanted to like learn Chun Li because I always thought she had a cool playstyle, but I was like sort of scared off by her like charge inputs. But I think once I like spent several hours with her in training mode, and eventually I was like, okay, I can get these moves off, no problem. And like after using her so much, she ended up being like one of my favorite characters. And I think the worry of the charge, or well, the charge inputs is kind of like completely disappearing since I mean, if anything, I got Bison to like platinum, and Bison's a really tough character to use execution wise. So it's like you put in that time, you can actually learn probably the hardest characters in the game, no problem.
Darn it, Andre made another good point. I'm sorry, I keep bouncing off them because they're really good concepts. I play
Mhm.
Chun-Li in Street Fighter 6. I've never played Chun-Li in any fighting game before. I've never mained her in any other fighter. Because the lightning legs, the one where you have to mash the same button like a motherfucker just to do a rapid kicking leg attack, is now a motion input, and it is easier to do because of that. So now I can play Chun-Li due to this one little change. And now I can do a reliable anti-air with Chun-Li because I don't have to do this complicated dragon punch motion. I can press down on my controller twice and a kick button, and suddenly I'm kicking up to the sky.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think this. I was
100%.
gonna also add on. It could also be a fact that it might be a side effect of having to accommodate to modern, so they have to have everything be possible on modern compared to classic as well, which is why some moves
Hmm.
got changed from charge to motion input.
Yeah,
I
Like
just
the
wanted to
scissor
point
kick.
out the one example of motion inputs saving a character and making them more accessible for someone like me, who doesn't want to mash a button out of panic and probably not get the move I want, which is kind of what we're talking about here, simplifying the game and making it a little more unreliable unless people master that attack buffer
yeah,
that's going to fuck
Yeah,
people up.
yeah. The last thing
Yeah,
I'll
Indeed.
we
dude.
say,
all
the last
probably
thing I'll say
bashed
on
a
it,
lot of something.
because we're diverging a bit, but it's good discussion. The last thing I'll say on it is that we do have easier inputs with stuff like Street Fighter 6, and I think I have with Street Fighter 6, 5, and 4, where there's certain things you could do easier compared to like the older games, Street Fighter 2 and whatnot, where it's a lot more of strict inputs. And I do like how they did it, but I also hate how, specials just slip out when you really didn't want to do it. It's just sort of the name of the machine at this rate. And for certain games, it does feel like when they do put in these modernized control schemes, it gets a bit too scrubby. I've seen people, I don't know what the feature's called, but I've seen it in Tekken where people have this like command window up and they are able to mash like certain commands out and do stuff with it. And I saw one Clive do it, but I managed
You mean
to.
Twist mode?
Yeah, that mode. I saw Clive do it, and his scrubby ass, he got a round off me, but then because I was using, like, all the moves and I downloaded him, I managed to beat him and he didn't do it again, and then he rage quit. So it's just like, those people can basically lose given the, like, proper situation. If they keep mashing shit and thinking a move is gonna hit you, then it's not gonna happen for the next round. But we are moving on to the next one, which is an interesting one. So I've seen someone complain about tag fighters. I'm not gonna name the name because it's just, I'm not gonna do it. But I saw him saying that, oh, this is garbage. Why are they constantly putting all these tag fighters? It doesn't seem like Invincible needs to be a tag fighter. And it brought up an interesting question. Are there people in this panel who think there's way too many tag fighters out there currently and they're getting pumped out? And what do you guys think of the matter? I will go with Rat first.
I just think it's another trend that fighting games are sort of following. Like, once upon a time, Street Fighter 2 was the trend. Once upon a time, Super Smash Brothers brought in a ton of platform fighters trying to chase that dragon. I think that developers are starting to realize the appeal of tag fighters. You'll be able to play as multiple characters, so you won't necessarily be stuck to a single man or character or what have you. Are there too many? I feel like we've never been drowning in tag fighters until this point. We'll see where it is next year, because then we'll have Marvel Tokon, we'll have Invincible Versus, we'll have 2XKO, we'll have Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact, and who knows what else is being developed as we speak. I don't know. I think it's a matter of there's plenty of fish in the sea, and Tag Fighter fans have been kind of starving for this type of game to exist, and for once they're being accommodated and sort of let these fellas eat. Their stomachs have been grumbling for a proper Tag Fighter.
I'll just read the chat. I just saw Hunter x Hunter
Absolute
garbage. I can't stop laughing, but well,
Speaking of games that had their lunch eaten by superhero tag fighters,
oh,
man, I don't envy the 2 people going out to buy Nen Impact when that launches.
The tag fighters that is announced, who's gonna get that one? Especially since it's the first one that's gonna come out compared to the
And
other.
not to mention, Hunter x Hunter is, let's be honest, incredibly niche compared to Invincible, compared to flippin' Marvel.
Honestly, it might have had a chance if it came out 10 years ago when the anime was still airing.
where's the
Not
My
now.
Hero Academia fighter?
Oh, they exist, Ren.
What about our Bleach fighter?
We'll talk about that
Oh,
on question
they
number 10. They
exist!
exist.
You know a game is gonna be niche if Invincible is more popular to casuals than Hunter x Hunter.
Jesus Christ. Well, I don't know if they're gonna improve those animations, but from what I saw, they look la basura there. I do not like how that game looks or seems to feel. It looks very bad, but I don't know. We will see. To answer the question at hand about is there too many tag fighters, I would say at the moment it does seem like they are jumping on the trend of, hey, let's put a bunch of them out, but I don't think that's a bad thing because they can all still play differently. They can all still feel like different games. Maybe one is faster, maybe one is slower. It's always a lot of parameters with these fighting games to take heed and take control of. Even if it's abundance at the time, I don't think that all of them are going to be 100% the same. That's crazy talk. And there's always going to be room for 1v1. I have a strong feeling in the future, you know, some of the games that have come out recently, there's still always going to be 1v1, you know, Street Fighter, all that other stuff. So I don't think that people should worry too bad about this, but as time goes on, we'll see what else they put out because there's still other non E3s to do next year and more fighting games and more things coming out, Evos, events like that. It's overall a good time to talk about this stuff, and I feel like the more the merrier, in my personal opinion. Drill, what about you? Do you think it's too many tag fighters or nah?
Honestly, feels like they're chasing a trend, and with everyone trying to compete in the same space, it feels like there might only be one or two games that'll make it out alive. I don't think Hunter x Hunter's gonna. I don't think Hunter x Hunter's gonna do well. It looks like one of those games that might be DNF dual levels of flop.
Mm.
And like the Marvel game for sure will probably do really well, even if I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Sony and
But
Marvel
it,
is gonna go off, definitely. There's way too many people excited over that game.
yeah, I mean, tons of people bought DVFZ after all.
Yep.
And Invincible versus maybe if it's like a budget game, but if they put it out for like full 60, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it would
Oh
do
no no no
well.
no no no. 60. $70, you mean, my friend.
Like it's kind of wild. The Hunter x Hunter game is 60 when it looks like a $20 budget title.
Ooh,
That should be a free to play game.
You
And I'm
should have
being
learned from
generous.
Koei's history and make it a fairy tale fighter instead.
jeez.
And I mean, that would probably do
Once
way
upon a
better.
time, once upon a
That would be
time when
nice.
once upon a time when there was a poll out there for fans being like, "Hey, what anime or manga series you want to see an RPG made out of?" Hunter x Hunter was second to Fairy Tale.
Shonen Jump
And
tag
I'm
fighter.
not saying I want history to repeat itself, but you'd have a lot more characters to choose from.
Kaneki,
tons more outfits to sell for Lucy.
Kaneki, do you think it's way too many tag fighters or no?
No, not yet at least. Announce 2 more tag fighters and then they can have that argument.
Ronan, what about you? You think it's way too many or it's too little?
I say, as a man who's grown up with a lot of tag fighters like Marvel vs. Capcom, Tekken Tournament, and everything else, I say the rise of the tag fighters are a good in my on my hand. I even talked about this with a friend and said, yeah, we need more tag fighters because I mean 1v1s are amazing. Don't get me wrong. Love to play a little 1v1s of Tekken, Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, and Blaze Blue. But I say the rise of tag fighters are a good thing, and we need more. And then you guys can make, like Kaneki said, you can we need to have more, and then you can have that argument. So I can say, so I have to say is hope we can get more with different other opportunities. Say, you know, possibly Dissidia getting a tag, Final Fantasy getting a tag fighter, or um another anime, or possibly another game franchise that's surprisingly dead. Soul Calibur.
Fucking hate the
That would
Soul
be
Calibur's
nice.
that. God damn it, dude. You bring up
Blame Bamco,
Sorry.
PTSD,
man.
dude.
I blame Bamco.
Andre, what about you? Anything on tag fighters or no?
On Sacrifice. If I'm being honest, I don't think we're really oversaturated with Sacrifighters, at least currently, because there was a lot of them, like probably 90s and 2000s. Like, yeah, it was pretty common back then, but I think it started to divvy out after a while, the 2000s and at least early 2010s. But yeah, they haven't really done tag fighters that much in the last quite a while. Yeah, it's been a while, so I've really got no problems with them personally. I mean, if they do like I don't know if they do like a bounce 5 tag fighters next year, then yeah, that'll be too much. But Apparently not. I think we're fine on them. I'm just really curious to see how it develops, how those games end up. Like namely Hunter x Hunter. I mean, hopefully it. I mean, if it catches on, but that's really all I gotta say on the matter.
All right, so we are moving
Wait,
on.
I'll say one more thing about the Hunter x Hunter game.
Go on.
If they announce a Dragon Quest fighting game, you know who is gonna fucking pick it up day one.
Fucking old JoJo. He's gonna be like 40
Oh,
years old,
yeah.
cooming over the fucking game,
Oh.
man.
I'm not talking about JoJo.
Who's
You know
gonna Max?
who? No, who created Hunter x Hunter?
Ah, damn! I fucking
Togashi.
forgot. Yeah,
Togashi.
He's the
Takashi.
big
Oh,
Dragon Quest lore.
yeah.
Yeah, he did. That'd be friggin' dope. I would actually love to see it, especially with all the characters and stuff like that.
I mean, that's gonna be 5 more delays for Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, you know what? So be it with the way the game looks. But moving on to the next question. Street Fighter 6 just revealed their big lineup for Year 3, which is Sagat, Ingrid, Alex, and Sea Viper. What do you think of this cast of characters so far? And that Sagat is coming out in the summer, and they showed gameplay for him. Rad, I want you to go first.
No, I want to go last. I want other people's opinions
What?
because mine are going to be very different. I feel.
All right, then
Uh,
we can move on to
I'll,
Andre.
yeah, I'll take this one. I'll take this one. So from what I've seen of okay, first things first, the reveal for what was it code Kenny Omega cosplaying all those characters, 10 out of 10. Like that'd be the funniest thing I've seen in a while. And he pulled off the flying colors, especially in the Ingrid cosplay. Oh my god, that was hilarious. But I'm pretty I really like what I see. And I have a good reason. That's for two characters in particular. Sagat looks really good. I'm glad he's coming back, but I think it's a given considering he's Street Fighter royalty. He's been every Street Fighter since 2. I mean, granted, he missed 5 initially, but he did come back season 3. Ingrid, so this is what I've like seen on Twitter when the announcement. A lot of people have been bitching that Ingrid's not a Street Fighter character. She's garbage. She sucks. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. I got it. People, so a lot of people have been bitching on Twitter about Ingrid's inclusion. Like, oh, why is a magical scroll going Street Fighter? I'm like, you do realize Street Fighter is the same series with characters like G, fucking Necro, stuff like that. So I really don't have a problem with it. And to be honest, Ingrid technically counts as a new character because she last fighting game she was in was Capcom Fighting Evolution. I know she was in Street Fighter 3 Alpha Upper and Max on the PSP, but she was at it, but that was like ages ago. So she's technically more of a new character, and I did really like her new design. She kind of looks like a character from Katamari See, Alex is Alex. I mean, nothing much to say on him. Alex is cool. See if Viper going back, dude. I wanted her to come back in 5 so badly. I was pissed that she missed all 5, but in hindsight, maybe it's for the best because I was kind of rough around the edges, and I really like her new design a lot. It looks really cool. Definitely looks like a nice evolution, but I do hope they bring back the original. Overall, I really like the lineup. I did really wish more fighting games to be a little more creative, like DLC characters, like looking at you Tekken, where they at least have a character, like one character that hasn't been in a game in a very, very long time, and bring them back, but do like a really interesting redesign to get people interested in the character. So I'm looking forward to it. I do feel like I do feel like Alex is gonna come out like May 2026, so it's gonna be a while. So if they follow the same release pattern, I mean, oh my, really, man, this dude LT, like You know what? I'm not gonna rant on it because I don't want to go any longer. But I overall I love the selection so far. I've got no problems with it. Definitely looking forward to see it. I'll probably get the season pass because I bought the last one. But Ren, that's pretty much all I gotta say in the matter. I'll let the next person.
All right, well, it's my turn. I'll be the first to say it. Low tier god sucks dick, and he's gonna be the first one losing to Ingrid. So if he says she's a wasted slot, this motherfucker's gonna be getting bodied.
I mean, I was gonna say it flat out.
But as for what I think of the characters, I'll go real quick. I'll start with most hyped. Sagat. I am super happy that he's back because I get to make
He's
it.
also first.
He will be first. He has gameplay. He looks fucking sick. Your typical, tiger knee, tiger uppercut. I will be buying him day one, and I have a feeling that the reach is going to be amazing. And just Sagat is just one of those characters that you just have to try to get him in a Street Fighter game. He wasn't in 3, but you have to get him in there no matter what as some type of staple. And I just love that they're harkening back to classic characters. I feel the same way about Alex from Street Fighter 3 as well, and they introduce him back into this game. It's I enjoyed playing him in Street Fighter 5 for all the shining moments of me raging during that game. Alex was one of the moments of shining light for me, so I think having him back in this game is gonna have the longevity factor to it as well, and I'm gonna enjoy, grappling because I rarely play with grapple characters, but he's one of the few that I actually picked up and I did decent with. Next up is C Viper. I played as her initially in the beginning of Street Fighter 4, actually, and I eventually dropped her for Rolento later on, but I thought she was a cool, interesting new character. She's one of the awesome new entries that I saw in that game, so I have no problem with her coming back as well. I made her in Marvel 3, I believe, when I played that a little bit, so she's awesome. I fuck with C Viper a lot. Ingrid, I don't really know that much about, but I'm all for them putting in more obscure Street Fighter characters or more obscure Final Fight characters because, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed some of the selection for Street Fighter 5 anyway, is when they introduce some of these obscure Final Fight people and putting random characters in that you never seen.
Abigail, fuck him.
Yeah, and well, Abigail's a different story, but I don't mind Ingrid being in this game, and for people saying that she already sucks and she doesn't belong, I think these are the same people that are gonna get like 10 old by this character, so that's just a given from what I'm gonna see in my opinion, especially the dude that was complaining about her. So that's what I feel about it. Interesting stuff. I cannot wait to get my hand on these characters soon, and Sagat is coming this summer, so we don't have to wait too long. Next up is Kaneki. What do you think about year 3 of Street Fighter 6?
In a way, I'm glad that they're back to just releasing Street Fighter characters for Season Pass because, with the recent talks of, oh, we're having too much guest characters in our fighting games, I'm just glad so far Capcom went back to the roots of just releasing Street Fighter only characters for the DLCs. As for the characters, I have no complaints. Maybe for C Viper, but I don't hate the character. I just would have replaced her with someone else, maybe like Makoto or even Vega, or even for obscure characters, we could bring back Sodom for Hades' sake. Because when was the last time Sodom was a playable character? Besides Alpha.
I was almost going to think that you said something else. Thank God. I thought you said Adon.
I'm just gonna say never.
Yeah, you can bring him back.
Probably.
You can bring back
Probably
Sodom.
because his name is Sodom.
Oh, I get it. God damn it.
Yeah.
They changed it in the SNES version to Katana, I think.
Yeah, but that was Nintendo's mandate.
That's lamer, but that was lame.
Oh man.
If they was to bring it back with that name, people's not would not be happy.
It's as lame as calling your sword user Blade.
Exactly.
There's a lot of changes they did to Final Fight in certain places. I do remember that.
Doesn't Akuma just basically mean demon?
Goki. I know they call him that.
But
It's just some of the names I just prefer over here and how they kept them so far. The same thing goes for Bison as well. Like I was like, what the fuck is this? What they call it? Balrog, different names. Yeah.
There's a reason why they changed his name.
Mike
Vega,
Bison, Mike Tyson. I
Balrog.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. They call him a dictator in Japan, Bison.
That I can understand. Those at least there's a reason why.
But Ronan, it is your turn. What do you think about this whole Street Fighter Year 3 shindig?
Glad you asked. I will say proudly, I'm happy Sagat is back. I'm very, very happy Sagat's back because I really thought they were going to forget about him. So I'm happy Sagat is back, and he's coming soon, this summer, and he already looks great, and he looks fun to play. Alex, I mean, I like him. Glad that we're getting some more Third Strike reps. Still would have preferred Makoto or Dudley, but I'm happy that Alex is, because Alex is the main character in Third Strike. Sea Viper. Welcome back, dear old girl. That's all I can say. Welcome back, dear old mommy. But and the most controversial opinion of all, Ingrid. I'm gonna say this and probably Radrad's gonna agree with me. Everyone, forget all the hate of Ingrid. She's there. She's not supposed to. Like, guys, get over it. She's there. I'm sorry. I'm just really, the hate for Ingrid is unjustified.
No, let them get 10-0. Let them get 10-0 online. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm curious.
I'm just
curious
saying.
why she's controversial.
You wanna know why? Because okay, in her ending in Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max, she's literally the creator of Bison's power, Psycho Power. And she's pretty much one of the most powerful characters in Street Fighter. Like she's the Shantoto, Rachel Alucard, like Athena of
Jesus.
So yeah, she's like one of the most powerful characters. Hell, she was supposed to be in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. She's the one who created Pandora. Like that's the reason why everyone hates her for some reason. And I find it cool, kind of cool that Capcom has their own version of like Shantoto and Rachel Alucard, like a very powerful character. And I'm happy she's coming back. Also, did you know that she was actually in Project Cross Zone 2 as an assist?
I did not know that.
You know what?
Yeah. She was an assist, and she was like looking after every single character. Hell, she even knows every Capcom character. She knows Dante, knows Virgil, knows Ryu, and everyone else. So, yeah, I'm happy that. And plus, I also heard this in another video about Ingrid. I kind of saw this coming with Rose's ending in Street Fighter 5. That it has to go back to 0. Remember the game in Japan? Street Fighter 03? Huh?
No. I vaguely remember it.
So yeah, so I kind of knew Ingrid was going to come back because Rose said in her ending where we have to go back to 0. I'm guessing 0 must be Street Fighter Alpha 3's Japanese name 03. So I will say gladly, I'm happy the Capcom goddess is back. Just kind of wish she was in Marvel vs. Capcom, kind of wish she was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but
there was
earthquake happened.
Yeah, there was plenty characters that got cut in that game, unfortunately.
Hold on.
Yeah, so
put Asura in a fucking Street Fighter game, man. What the fuck are we doing?
He will destroy the entire cast, and I'd be all for it.
Exactly.
It would, it
I
would be,
knew it.
dude, it would be again. It would be an Ingrid situation all over again, but better. But still, I don't. Like, also like Renegade said, fuck LTG. Really, please go away forever.
LTG's too busy getting
Like
banned on
literally,
Tekken and
like
other
literally,
games.
shut up about Ingrid. You can please be quiet. Go back and raise your daughter.
Yeah, we'll
And
get 20
that's all I have to
off.
say.
Hey, he has a kid?
What?
What?
Yeah, he has
Well,
a
that's all. That's a whole other story.
That's
Mods,
Sorry,
That would
sorry,
be off
mods,
topic.
order up.
yeah.
2 week his
Yeah.
ass.
sorry. I
Mod-
had to rant
Mods, you
about
know
that.
what to do.
So yeah, I had to. So that's my final words. I like the roster, especially Ingrid and Sea Viper.
Well, that was interesting. So, Rad, since you said you were last, I guess you'll go and then Drill.
There is Drill. I don't believe Drill's gone.
Well, Drill,
Yeah.
go ahead. Fine.
A little rude, but yeah.
Oh, not rude. I just didn't notice you were there for a second. No, I'm just joking.
Because I'm really
Yeah.
curious on his feeling because
Hon-
a certain someone isn't
honest-
there.
Honestly, Daryl. Honestly, it's not bad, but I feel like we could have gone. I feel like they should have added Sakura at this point.
Yep, there it is.
I
But
fucking
we had
knew
to
you
wait
say
till
that,
year
man.
3.
Oh,
Like
Somebody
Street
pick up
Fighter
the
5.
phone because I called that shit.
Street Fighter
Me too.
5. We already had her by year 3 with Cody and who else was in season 3?
it's been
For
a
Street
long
Fighter
time.
5?
I don't remember.
Blanca.
Blanca
Oh,
Foul, maybe.
delete them.
Man, like I feel like they should. I feel like 4 characters is just too small at this point, especially with how long the droughts are. It was pretty bad with season 2. Like remember when we didn't get Elena for the longest time because they're like Capcom was like, oh yeah, we got a Switch 2 version coming up. We can have it released on the same day.
Well, thankfully they didn't do that. Although delaying her was not a good idea, but go on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. The choices are fine. Although I am interested to see how they're gonna work within the mechanics of the game. Since Sagat wasn't the best in Street Fighter V, and the fact is that there's no chip damage in the game, and that drive rush exists, so he's not as scary anymore since people can just run up to him or skip neutral. And and then of course, and then we know how Capcom treats grapplers. Like almost all of them are pretty bad. So
Also,
how's Alex gonna fare?
I'm going to say this real quick, right? There's obviously going to have to be a trade. If Sakura has to be in it, so does Kyren. You can't have a Street Fighter if you're gonna have Sakura in it. You're not gonna have Karen.
I mean,
Or
we went like how many years without Karen being in the game?
Like Street Fighter 4 was the only game where Sakura's in, but not Karen, her rival.
Yeah.
I want to interject on that one. The reason why Karin was not in most Street Fighter games because of like so many manga licensing issues, and Capcom didn't own the rights to the character.
So that is a myth. That the same manga that Karin came from is the same manga that Evil Ryu came from, and that motherfucker is in every Street Fighter game now. So
except for
it's
this
not
one.
that the manga.
Well, technically 5 that was an Evil Ryu.
Shut up!
It's not
doesn't
that Manga
exist.
Man was holding Karin back. It's that Capcom just didn't want to use her.
For some reason. But we did finally get her. Honestly, the picks aren't bad, but I kind of wish they would have addressed the issues of the content drought. At least like add one more character, and then they could have put in Sakura.
You dare bring up the worst Evil Ryu of all time? How dare you?
Just saying. But yeah,
Hate him.
but yeah.
Hate him all.
Honestly, it's not a bad pick. it's not a bad lineup. There's at least like 2 or 3 characters I'll try out. Like Sea Viper, I mean, I've never been like I could never play her properly, so I've never been the biggest fan of her. But I don't mind her being there.
Also same.
Like I know I know Ren would just wants a god just to troll people.
I want Sagat to put his knee into Sakura's groin and get her off the screen. I just need her gone immediately.
I'm like Ren's a real Sakura hater.
Oh my god.
Rat, since you're the final one now, it is your turn. How do you feel about these characters in Street Fighter 6 for year 3?
Ingrid is in a fighting game, possibly.
He has to
So
wait
the
for
deal,
it. She's
the
lying.
deal with Ingrid is that almost every legitimate fighting game appearance she was supposed to be in was either a canceled appearance because she wasn't completed during development, or it was a canceled game. She was supposed to be in TVC. There are images of her model in game. It was canceled. She was supposed to be in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Her appearance was canceled. And now she finally gets to be included in an honest-to-God Street Fighter. Not a port, not a crossover. She is here, and she is beautiful. And this is the character I am anticipating the most, because there has been so many questions on where Ingrid sits on the power scale. Did she really invent Psycho Power? Does she really possess the powers of the sun god Isis? Like, there's so many questions on what this character can potentially do now that she has a canon Street Fighter experience ahead of her. So that's the character I'm the most interested in, and the one that I didn't even know was possible to be included in a Street Fighter game. Alex, Sagat, Viper, you were going to get these guys anyway. And it's great to have them in Season 3 because they represent almost every flavor of Street Fighter, whether they be 2, 3, or 4. You're just lacking an alpha rep, so here comes Ingrid. She counts. It's like none of these characters are going to matter next year because Ingrid Mania is going to run wild on all of you. I promise you that. And then she's going to be the hardest character in the game to use, and I cry. But yeah, Season 3 is a success because it included Ingrid in the game. Like, thank you so much, Kenny Omega, for humiliating yourself for our amusement. And thank you so much, Capcom, for remembering, oh yeah, Capcom Fighting All-Stars is a thing we almost did.
Oh.
I mean,
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rad Rad.
Ingrid
Yeah.
was inside, technically. She was an outfit for Karen.
He's gonna say doesn't count. He's gonna say
It really doesn't.
It
And
really
I
does not,
appreciated
believe it or not.
that.
Yeah, she's.
Also-
That's why
Also, you gotta remember, she's the
Okay.
last character in the past, so how do you feel about waiting for her?
I just hope development doesn't get canceled so that the tradition
Same
can
here.
continue.
Same here. I really
can't
want.
wait.
I just really don't want the drought to be as bad as Season 2. Because
Please
we
do
had
not
to wait
cancel
a
Ingrid.
really long time for Elena. But
Because the
At least-
deal with 4 characters is that they have a lot more to work with. You have to include them in World Tour with cutscenes and mentors and all of
also
that
voice
fancy stuff.
acting.
Also, Ari.
Yeah.
yep.
Oh,
It's-
actually.
Voice acting's a
I
minor
mean-
part of it, and then you have to do the fighting ground events around them. Personally, I think the avatars are getting too much love. When it comes, just a little side note, it's like these avatar battles are a mode that barely anyone uses, unless it's part of some fight currency rewards thing. Like, they're getting too much love. Give the characters these outfits.
I mean, clearly
100%.
there are people still
Oh.
paying for them since Capcom is doing them. It kind of hurts a lot. Like they had a Darkstalkers thing, but nothing for the actual characters. And then
Yeah.
for Street Fighter
Well,
5, we had
well,
Morrigan, Chun-Li, and everything else.
Hey, in Street Fighter 6, you got Darkstalkers character colors.
I mean,
Man, I
something.
knew he's.
Oh,
And this
God.
I mean, Lord knows, I use that Morrigan color when I use Chun Li. And by the way, those colors are exclusive to the character's outfit too.
wow. That's.
weird.
I was gonna say I didn't want to cut anyone off, but I wonder. I would think about it. I wonder who's gonna voice English. Because hopefully, I do hope Mark Woodden comes back as Alex. 'Cause I really liked him in that role. He did a great job, and
I mean,
I
that
know,
was he did the voice before he blew up in Demon Slayer and Genshin.
yeah, we gotta bring him back. I know Sagat and Viper, VAs are definitely gonna return.
I'm so sad.
Maybe
I'm so sad it's not going to be Faye Mata as Ingrid because she's taken.
I mean, I
But
had
that
a
would be just
few.
picture perfect character.
I know,
actually
right?
Phil and Rad.
Oh my god. Maybe
I'll
maybe
be,
get Erica Mendez for Ingrid. That's another option.
that'd be cool. That'd
I
be
will hope
cool.
for
I
sorry to
mean,
cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was hoping for either Faye Mata or Susie Young for Ingrid. Or who knows? Or who knows?
Susie Young
Maybe she can,
voicing two of my fighting game waifus? This can't happen.
I'm
That'd
just
actually
saying.
be perfect.
That's
I
my
mean,
three
I
I
know.
choices right there.
hadn't thought of that, but that would be a good choice.
That would be my choice right there. That would be my choice for voices of Ingrid. Either Erica Lindbeck, Faye Mata, or Susie Young.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. So we got to move on to the next question. That's question 6 and 7. We're gonna combine these two so we can make it a little bit faster. But so Andy Bogart was revealed for Garo City of Wolves. Is there any thoughts about him?
Fucking time.
Is there any thoughts about him and other characters you're looking forward to? And what do you think of the low Steam numbers for Garo City of Wolves? I will go with Kaneki first.
Oh boy, about fucking time Andy Bogart wait. He's the most middest character in this fucking game.
Well, so he sucks? Damn, I didn't even know that.
Since since Fatal Fury, they have not changed one bit about this man. His moveset, his personality. He's the same guy since Fatal Fury 1. Why play him when the other dude is in the game? I can't pronounce his name. Hotokumaru? A better character right there.
Wait, so he's
Outside of
mid and he pulled my. How does that even work?
my
Blame
wants him.
my.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My wants him, not him wants her, you know.
Yeah, like it's a one-sided romance.
Oh, it's one of those. I see.
But anyways, for what I saw of the gameplay trailer of Andy, he outside of a few different adjustments of movesets, maybe he has something like there or there. He's the same dude. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, he's gonna be like the worst character since fucking Mai and City of the Wolves. I'm telling you, he's not gonna do all that. For the second question, um, remember that discussion we had the last podcast about what was going on with SNK, Saudi Arabia, and a soccer player?
The Saudi blood money and the soccer player who will not be named on this podcast. Yeah, I remember.
Those are the main factors why the low numbers on Steam charts is those exact reason. And here's the thing: there's two correct answers for this. The Steam charts isn't the end of all be all for player base numbers. That is true, but it's also true that the reason why it's low is because those factors, not because the game does lack in single player content for casuals. But I can tell you this right now: if that soccer player wasn't included in this game, I could tell you right now, there would be more people buying this game, guaranteed. So because of the blood money and that soccer player factor, yeah, that's why it's low.
Brad, you know you're next on this.
Yeah, I am. Because I wasn't here for this initial Fatal Fury discussion, and I was about ready to boycott this entire game due to dumb celebrity guests being added. We'll get to that. I want to focus on Andy first. He does have some new tricks from what I can see. He seems to have an Akuma Yuri Sakazaki-esque demon flip with mix-up options into what looks like a Kami-esque hooligan command grab that he can do really quick for some reason because ninja, you see. And he seems to have borrowed something from... I'm sorry, I'm not an Andy Bogard scholar. He has this flipping flame kick that he does on the ground. And I know he's had that in like a King of Fighters game or possibly some Fatal Fury game I'm not thinking of. So he got that back, and I can't remember the last time he's actually had it. But I don't know. It feels like Andy should have been base roster because he's kind of in the Terry Bogard category where he's been there since the beginning. So to have him here and this early, it's fine. I don't think there's as much fanfare for him that he's DLC and not, there from the start.
The next character will be, though.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Chun-Li to be out for content-related reasons.
She's
And
coming out
the
after
other-
Ken, so you're good. Sorry, go ahead.
I thought it was after Joe, like Andy Ken, Joe Chun.
Let me. You could keep talking. Let me triple check that.
All right, yeah. But as for the general sales of Fatal Fury, it's SNK. They don't have the staying power of a Capcom, a NetherRealm, an Arxis, or a Bandai Namco. They are, like, niche. Like, not to the niche level of, say, Under Night In-Birth, but they don't necessarily have that overall staying power or that just mainstream word association to them. I mean, yes, you have Terry Bogard, but this just happens to be the game that Terry Bogard is in. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, including Soccer Man, including DJ, including these weird celebrities into your game, when these could have easily been more legacy characters. And that is, after all, the SNK mandate. We want to bring back every Fatal Fury character at some point. It just feels like a waste of time, and there was a point where He Who Shall Not Be Named had a contract dispute with the soccer team he was on, which has since been resolved. So for a brief period, his inclusion would have been ultimately pointless and caused the game legal troubles down the line. But yeah, I can see a lot of people being like, I don't want an alleged rapist in my fighting game. I don't want these weird celebrities in there. You had my money and now you've lost it. Hell, I didn't even buy the game. I got it for my birthday, and even then I barely play it. Except to do, like, content for this game, because I've been waiting to see this story resolved for 25 years, and they did that much. So yeah, mission accomplished. But I kind of wish this game would have done better, but it's SNK's fault, and more importantly, it's the fault of their rich uncles forcing them to put characters into the game.
Man, I would love to do a certain joke right now, but I don't think that I should. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give my answer. And for the people wondering what that joke was, I was gonna put the Muhammad Hassan theme right here, but no, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, as we talk about Saudi blood money and all of that stuff, I just think it's funny. I talked a lot about this in the last podcast. It's a lot of weird stuff going on with this game in particular, and I'm just not really feeling it, or the guest characters or anything. We talked about how shit the animations looked, and why am I hitting something with an equalizer in a fighting game? We spoke about all that, and I said to myself, I don't think that we should have all these real life celebrities. At least give me someone in a fighting game that's actually worth a shit. I know there are fans of these people, but I want actual fighting game characters. That's what I'm getting at. As for Andy, I was never really the biggest Andy fan at all. I really played this character like period. One of the characters I like more is obviously Terry or Keo or someone to that effect. So I'm not really into Andy Bogart at all. This trailer doesn't really do a lot for me. As for the low numbers, I do agree with Rad that it's mostly just SNK is not really well known or even close to the big three. And that's probably why a lot of people have not really seen this game, or it kind of went under the radar. And the controversy also is not helping matters as well. So it's a combination of, I think, two things, in my personal opinion: the niche popularity of it all, and obviously some people are like, "Ew," when it comes to picking up the game, which I understand. And yeah, that's true. They advertised this game. They advertised Garo at fucking WrestleMania. I saw it when it was all over the mat. And I was looking at the screen. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Is that what I think it is? They constantly show advertisements.
You don't even know. You don't even know the awkward collar tugging I had to do when we're ready to watch WrestleMania Saturday night. It's the opening match. All of a sudden, Salvador Ganachi is on stage, and there's some fucking street smart SNK music getting remixed on my WrestleMania stage, and you have to explain that to like normies.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck is a Fatal Fury? Why is Michael Cole shouting "Rev it up"? What? I'm sorry, minor rant. Why is the crowd meter dedicated to revving it up? You don't want to do that. You lose out on resources.
oh, they were going all out with this one. It's so fucking funny, dude. But yeah, I just think that those like crunching materials together, it didn't really save the game whatsoever, even if it's featured at WrestleMania. I don't know. I hope that maybe Chung Li and Ken will bring it up just a little bit. We'll see in the future, but
Here's the best part.
Hmm?
Here's the best part. This is Fatal Fury.
True.
At least the fighting game community knows Fatal Fury. Now, how they're gonna do this with Art of Fighting, a more niche game than Fatal Fury?
They might as well. They better get out the coffin, I guess. That's the only thing I can say about it.
Like they're gonna be like, "Who the
Like-
fuck is Rio?"
Like, they didn't learn from Samurai Showdown. That's another franchise that, like, only the hardcore SNK fans really know about Samurai Showdown, and that didn't really move the needle either.
Ronan, it is your turn. What do you think of all this Garo City of the Wolves business?
I'm gonna have to pass on this one because I'm not very that knowledgeable of SNK.
You know what? That's understandable. I can respect it. Drill.
Yeah, sadly, I am not that knowledgeable on SNK that much, so I don't know anything. I mean, I was intrigued, but I really don't know anything about it.
That's
So I'm gonna have to
understandable.
pass.
That's cool. We'll get Drill to take over for this one then. So Drill, what do you think of the whole business with Andy
I mean,
Bogart trailer and everything?
Andy just looks like Andy, honestly, and plays like him. I never was the biggest fan of Andy Bogart. I mean, he's just kind of a meh character, and I would have just preferred if they just added in like Rio or hell, Blue Mary or Yuri. Just feels like Andy, like others have said, Andy should have been base roster instead of the DJ and you know who. And for the reason why the game is failing, it's honestly because Fatal Fury is just super niche compared to Street Fighter, Tekken, and even Guilty Gear. Like, how many people actually know what Fatal Fury is aside from like old school gamers? Not to mention that even with all the money and advertising they put in, it still wasn't enough because casuals probably got put off by like the subpar by like all the subpar menus and visuals. Not to mention that there's basically nothing for single player content. Like, what are you gonna do? Just play arcade? And I know there's like that other mode, but that's just arcade mode repackaged. Not to mention that, not to mention since the user base is so dwindling now that the people left online are just the hardcore players, and yeah, And yeah,
I will
unless you just really like Fatal Fury, you're just playing a Discord fighter.
I will say, in terms of that episodes of Southtown content, I'd rather have it than just not have it at all. It's not the most intriguing single player content, but I feel it is important for a game that simply wanted to finish its story to elaborate on the characters of the Fatal Fury universe. So I kind of got what I wanted, which is Hotaru and Rock just sitting down and shooting the breeze together, just having a normal conversation about how awful their dads and adoptive dads are.
And then they're gonna have
So
sex.
you
You know what's gonna happen. You know that's gonna happen.
Whoa.
shut up.
Oh my god.
God
And
damn.
honestly,
Although SNK quality of life feature, let us look at those gallery pictures in episodes of Southtown. You can only just look at them once in the actual story. You don't include them in like the gallery page, and that image of Hotaru and Rock just sitting down at Geese Tower and Rock just looking away because he's shy around girls. I want that for my goddamn wallpaper without all of this text and UI in the way.
but yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, they really needed to try to get more casuals interested. I mean, hell, do something like maybe like something like World Tour, like Street Fighter 6 or a cinematic story. You know, with all the money they put into marketing, they could have put in something for like at least some kind of like cinematic story with voice acting, cutscenes, and everything. But it really shows that no matter if your game is niche and casuals don't care, no matter how much money you're gonna pour into it, you're not gonna get people to bite. And honestly, it does make me worry about the future of Fatal Fury and how long they can keep supporting the game if numbers are just gonna keep dwindling. There's gotta be something they gotta do to try to like shoot like more life into it. But I
More
realistically don't know what they could do.
more guest characters. More.
Oh,
Oh, I
let's
should
add
speed in the game.
KSI
That's the
ISO
only
speed.
way, and you know it.
Yeah.
He's not
They're
wrong.
gonna add in KSI ISO speed, Kai Cenat,
Look, Logan
Oh my
Paul.
god,
Roman
yo.
Reigns.
Logan Paul.
Yo.
Fatal Fury.
If that happens, then I really do not give a shit about SNK than I do now.
You know what? Here's the thing, right? Out of all the guest characters they could have added, right, when the game was about to come out, Dwayne Johnson could have been a guest character.
Oh, hell
after
no,
Rock.
fuck off, man.
You know,
Oh
I mean,
my
you know that
God.
game would sell. You
Didn't
know that
I
game would
mean
sell
didn't
because of the
Angel have like the people's elbow as a move?
Finally,
Yes, have you
Angel is the Rock.
I get to
have you-
rock
Yeah.
bottom someone in a fighting game. It'd be
have
fucking
you not
amazing.
played have you not played the mobile app? Why play Angel when the Rock was
Oh, you
still-
can't play it because it's dead.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Thanks, NFT.
Let me be
But,
Black Adam
But
as
honestly,
the Rock.
I would have accepted The Rock more than he you know who, because at least The Rock actually fights and he actually has a bunch of moves at fighting game.
Yeah. He can work, I guess.
If it had
The
just
CDL
been a
would
new
be-
character that happens to be a soccer player, no one would have given a shit.
Yeah.
For better or
Like, you
worse,
know-
no one would have given a shit.
You know it's bad when people would prefer Preacher more over the soccer player.
Yeah.
You know it's bad
heard
when
he's-
Vox is more popular.
Isn't Vox
Yeah.
just
Isn't Vox
But
just like
basically-
Kyle's like fanboy or something?
He's a student of Grant.
Like that's another thing. Why did they add Grant or Geese? I know Geese is in the story mode, but he's not playable.
Because Grant was technically dead before this game. He's super not, but he technically was.
Yeah, well, that didn't stop Tekken or Street Fighter from having characters being brought back to life. You just
and where's
never
Geese
stay
Howard?
dead.
Yeah, actually.
Come to think of it, that's the one character that this game needs, Wolfgang Krauser. Like, there's your
Exactly.
Sagat equivalent.
Like if you announce Geese Howard and Krauser in that iconic stage, then people will get interested.
Andre, do you have anything to say on this before we move on?
Oh yeah, I actually was saving it up, but it was a pretty short answer. But about Fatal Flop City of the Shills. It's from a Twitter conversation I had with someone, but honestly about Andy, well, like I said, I think he's just a really boring ass character. Like he's probably the most mid SNK character. Nothing really unique about him. If anything, there are a bunch of other ninja characters in fighting games that probably do the same shit he does, but a million times better. So Andy really isn't enough for me to like get the game. And honestly, Chun Li too. And I love playing Chun Li, but I don't know, dude. It's like nothing about this game is really doing it for me. It's probably the most anti-hype fighting game I've seen in a while. And the reason I skipped it, honestly, like I said, it was just Ronaldo and Ganache. It's like, why are they putting real life celebrities? It's like, especially with controversies, because that's gonna age like milk if they get into like new controversies. And then also, if you're wondering how I feel about the low Steam numbers too, I mean, like I said, people with fighting games, people play them for like a while, and they jump off. It's how it goes. Like resurgences are very possible they can do resurgence, but it's like they'd have to get a character that brings up enough hype to like people jump back in. Like with Street Fighter, when they put Elena back in, that's what got a lot of people back into the game. But I feel like it's probably gonna drop again. Unless, like I said, if they manage to handle season 3 better, like they actually release the characters a bit faster. But yeah, that's how I feel. I don't think City of the Wolves is gonna last long. I give it like 2026, and I think they're gonna be done with that game completely. Move on to the next project and so on and so forth. So that's all I have to really say.
All right, we're moving on to MK then. So, I sadly missed this announcement when they revealed it at the State of Play, but as soon as I heard about it, I'm pretty excited for this. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection was fully unveiled with the following titles: MK 1992, MK2, the vanilla MK3, UMK3, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Advance on the GBA, Deadly Alliance GBA, and Tournament Edition on the GBA. How do you feel about these games in the collection, and what is your speculation on the 4 mystery games that they're hiding in this title? Rad, I want you to go first.
All right. I have a lot to say about Legacy Collection and the developer behind it. It's why this is going to be the best collection offline, and it's going to be the worst collection online. So Digital Eclipse is in charge of this one, and if you've played their recent collections, Tetris Forever, Atari 50, they're very thorough when it comes to treating their franchises like video game royalty. They go out of their way to interview people who worked on the game, they get documents, they get videos. They're very thorough in giving you not just a collection of games, but an archive of them, which is why they are so buck-futting nuts to include not only the typical arcade versions that everyone's going to play, but the console versions that everybody secretly played, and the handheld versions that I had to play for a YouTube channel. That's why I think the 4 mystery games are a little more cartridge-based, because this is Digital Eclipse. Their bread and butter is preservation of cartridge-based gaming. These are going to be N64 selections. Mortal Kombat 4 console, Mortal Kombat Mythologies, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and since it is Digital Eclipse, Mortal Kombat 4 Game Boy. It needs to be done. You're already including Mortal Kombat Advance. We're at the bottom of the barrel. Let's go deeper. So it's going to be the best collection for experiencing Mortal Kombat's history on on a thorough and catered timeline. Like, it's going to be pristine in that respect. I'm worried about the online. I don't think that's the priority here when we're talking about Digital Eclipse working on a fighting game collection. I know Street Fighter 30 has happened. It wasn't too long ago. I've heard good things about Samurai Showdown Neo Geo collection because they worked on that, but I'm not too familiar with like lobby options and all of that. And I know people are going to expect the typical stuff, and yeah, rollback netcode is there for the arcade games, for the console games, not for the handhelds. Really, you don't want to bring in a unexpected Mortal Kombat Advanced community on board for that. But I'm super pumped for this. It should have been here 2 years ago when Mortal Kombat 1 was coming out. It would make my job a hell of a lot easier. But I'm more interested in the bonus content and being able to play some of these games legally for once. But I'm super excited for this. This is probably... It's hard to say if it's the most excited I've been for a collection, because the Capcom collections have got that niche covered wholesale. But yeah, this one I am incredibly excited for. The potential of bonus content alone makes it worth its potential price tag.
Alright, I guess I will go with this turn. I'm gonna make mine relatively quick, but I have a few things to say. First and foremost, I mean, I missed out on this announcement, and I wish I would have saw it live because they almost made a brother tear up. I mean, I was really looking forward to them bringing back the older MKs, and you know, I grew up playing Mortal Kombat as a fighting game. That was my first fighting game, actually. And seeing this was really just reminiscent of all those good memories, ripping people's heads off and whatnot, ripping their hearts out, all that fun stuff that you would do when playing these games and these collections and whatnot. And the one that I picked up before was the arcade collection all the way back on PS3, and I figured, and I said this on previous podcasts, why not have Mortal Kombat release a collection to the people who want to play and experience those older games and have them have it out online or whatever. I guess we'll see how the online rollback, all that stuff goes. I do remember playing Arcade Collection. I had some spotty matches maybe here or there, and I had a couple of really good ones. I hope it's better than that, but if it isn't, well, we'll be here on this podcast. It'll be World War III. As for the 4 rumored games, I have no idea. Personally, maybe I'm getting my hopes up, but I really hope that one of them is Shaolin Monks. I know it's not going to happen, but just some sort of representation for those PS2 games at all would definitely make this the ultimate collection in my mind. But then I keep thinking to the business side, and NetherRealm and WB, fucking WB, doing all these decisions, and I can see them like breaking it down into it. Oh, if you like this collection, we'll put in a couple of more classics, and that's it. And if it really goes well, maybe we'll do the 3D era of Mortal Kombat and put some rollback into those, and we'll charge you like maybe 50 something dollars. I can see them doing something like that, no problem. But if they do, I would buy a copy of it. I'm gonna buy a copy of this, and I'm gonna kind of see how it goes. Super excited. I think this was the news they needed to say, hey, we kind of really fucked up when it came to all the stuff with Mortal Kombat 1 support, and we're gonna cut that, and it's like, that's done. So the community was very pushbacky in that situation, and there's a lot of people that didn't like that at all. And it's like, you just cut support of one of your bigger games. Mortal Kombat fans, we need something. We've been striving for stuff for a long time now, and I think this is the sort of injection to make those people happy. I've seen a couple of people happy so far, jumping for joy, and I think it's nice for them to do this. All they need to do now is just nail it and make those last 4 games good and make the overall package good, and I'm in 100%. I'm really excited. Next up is Mr. Andre. What do you think of the Mortal Kombat collection so far?
Very excited. I'm extremely looking excited for this one. MK was MK 1, 2, 3, 4. Delhi Alliance on the GBA version. Yeah, it's really it's crazy because I think the last time, correct me if I'm wrong, did they do Mortal Kombat Collection 2011 or 2012? Because I do think they did something like that years ago.
Yeah, it was Other Ocean. They put up MK1, 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 together online,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't a particularly great port of those games. It even came down to your pause button had delay.
Wow, that's bad. But really excited though. Yeah, I don't think the online's gonna be the greatest. Like Rad mentioned, I feel like it'll just be kind of fun to play for like nostalgia purposes, like going through those arcade modes, stuff like that. I would love them. I know it'd be hard to probably be impossible, but I actually love them to do like what was it, remastered Daily Alliance session and maybe Armageddon. I mean, I know Armageddon's it's a mess of a game, but I think Armageddon has like some really I think it's got some of the most fun modes in Mortal Kombat. I love the Conquest mode and I love Order Combat. I mean Creative Fighter mode, yeah, it was kind of jank as shit, but it was cool making your own MK character. I feel it'd be a lot of work to do because then they have to look at the PS2 originals and like, yeah, redo it. Which, hey, I think but hey, it would be cool if they like rolled back. But very excited though. Really looking forward to playing these games again when they release. I think it's coming out.
It's coming out sometime this year.
Yeah, probably maybe fall. I guess fall, October, or November. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. That's really all I got.
Drill, what do you think of the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection so far? Are you excited or no?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty excited for it since it means we get to have all the old games back. Although there are some weird choices, like they put in like Mortal Kombat 4 arcade version, but not the console version, and then the portable games, which honestly, aside from MK2, which is okay at best, most of them are pretty terrible conversions. Also, it's missing some like unique ports of MK1, like the Sega CD version. And also the fact that, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's Digital Eclipse, though. I bet, like, I imagine online will probably not be the highest priority, but the extra features look really cool. And honestly, it kind of makes me wish the Capcom Fighting Collections at least included, like, the console versions as options, because those console versions had added more. And UMK3, well, it is. Well, yeah, it does look worse than mess. It does add some new stuff like being able to play as Rain and Noob Saibot. They're very broken, but they are fun to play with. I don't expect them to add in any PS2 stuff. Any PS2 stuff, but I at least hope we get MK Trilogy, the N64 and PlayStation versions, since they're basically two different games.
As I said,
Because
I think they're gonna make us pay for this collection, and if it goes well, then they'll do the Mortal Kombat 3D era PS2 games. You get
well, if they do, if they do that, they gotta go all out on like actually add in like not just Deadly Alliance, but also add in Deception and give us like the GameCube content, maybe rebalance some stuff. Also rollback because it would be nice to play those games with like rollback. Also have Armageddon as well. I know some people don't like it, but at least it could be fun to play. And also Shaolin Monks. That'd be nice to have online co-op. Although rollback, I don't know if that would be realistic, but it would be nice to have. Maybe they could put in like if they're all about just doing MK's history, they could just put in the DS port of MK Trilogy as of MK3 as well. That was a decent port. And then, of course, if the PS2 games happens, that means you could play chess and puzzle combat online. and also motor combat for Armageddon.
And Shaolin Monks also has a versus mode that you could play with friends in and pick characters and just kick ass. It's very fucking awesome. I hope they go down that route. If they add trilogy, I think someone said they should do the PC version because no load times, and I think Shang Tsung, whenever he loaded in the PS1 version, it would pause the game because he had loaded in the character you're switching. So do the PC version for the love of God.
But they should at least have the N64 version since it did add in some different stuff like Sub Zero. They basically fused Sub Zero into one character, classic and the unmasked one. So he has all of his moves, extremely powerful. And also they did change some stuff with the balance. I actually heard that they prefer, like, people prefer to play the N64 version more.
Sub-Zero is gonna be broken in that version. Got it.
Yeah. Also, you don't. Also, no load times, which is great. And I do want to see like all of the behind the scenes stuff because it would be nice for them to talk about like some cut content and stuff we never got for the older games. Maybe they could talk about the cut character we had for MK Gold, which we only ever saw in like screenshots, but it would be nice to see them talk about it. And also maybe like what happened with like special forces because it was going to be a much different game before they changed it.
And then it came out. It turned out to be ass. One of the worst Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat co-op games. Well, no, I don't even think there's co-op anymore. It was at one point, then they changed it, right?
I think John Tobias even said he wanted special forces to basically be the Metal Gear
Oh
combat.
my god. Oh.
It just occurred to me, I have a more recent Digital Eclipse example, and it gives me a more positive light on this. The Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection was a Digital Eclipse joint.
Good collection, by the way. But go on.
Yeah, it was a good collection, and it had tournament fighters on it with decent online. I don't remember if there were proper lobby settings or not. But yeah, that's your litmus test where if Digital Eclipse can do good rollback. Yeah, they can.
Yeah, but weren't those like PS1 like SNES games though? It's gonna be the real test is gonna be for like MK4 and since it's in trilogy since they're PlayStation games.
While I'm talking about it, MK4 should be impossible because it is on an arcade board that the emulation community hasn't gotten up to 100% speed. If you try to play the main version, the second you beat Shinnok, the game hangs. You're done, no ending, have a nice day. So the fact that MK4 arcade is on that collection is a miracle.
Maybe like Ed Boon or some of the old Midway guys still have the code for all we know.
So with this, there's something that Cowabunga Collection also included. The ability to jack up the original ROM. In Tournament Fighters NES, there was a character called Hothead that you could not use in two-player mode. Only one person could select him. Until Digital Eclipse came along and said, yeah, Hothead is selectable by both players now. You can just play as Karai and Rat King in the Super Nintendo Tournament Fighters. You don't need to put a code in. So what I'm thinking is Mortal Kombat just lets you play as Reptile. MK2 just lets you play as Jade, Smoke, Noob, Cybot with codes and whatnot. That would be crazy. That's the expectation I'm at for this Mortal Kombat collection. Crazy cool codes.
MK4 lets you play as Noob Cybot. Like he was barely finished.
And Meat and
Goro.
Yeah.
Imagine playing through base Mortal Kombat Arcade as Goro.
Yeah. Although I do doesn't but the thing is that the arcade versions use like the in-game like character endings, right? Not like the FMVs. So you don't get as many
actual
like
in-game.
Yeah, like it's the same on N64, so you're not gonna get like as But you won't get like those hilarious, funny ones, like Sonya's ending.
Never,
you still will.
sorcerer. Sorcerer. That shit's so stupid, man. Oh, the Jarek stuff.
I mean,
This is not a brutality.
This
This is
is
a
a fatality.
fatality.
I'm so
Also,
Yeah.
also, I
I'm
think
sorry,
one of
that's
those
okay.
one of those wild card 4 games should be MK Gold, because
No,
I think it'll be funny.
no.
I'm gonna do a
I mean,
harakiri on
again,
myself,
we're at
man.
the bottom of the barrel. We have advance.
I'm gonna do a
I mean, like,
harakiri.
it would be funny if they like changed it to where now MKGBA is actually playable now, because you couldn't do most of the moves in it, and
You're
the
funny.
AI was impossible.
You are funny if you think they're gonna make that game more playable.
Please don't.
I
I want to
mean,
hear
like,
the stories behind MK Advance. That's, again, my expectations are pointing towards that. Treat Mortal Kombat like the documentary that was never made.
I really do want to hope that they at least put in, like, they talk about special forces and what went wrong and what they wanted to have in the final game.
They're gonna be like, we
Because
were
it definitely
embarrassed.
seemed a lot more it definitely seemed more ambitious if you look at the E3 demo.
We were embarrassed. We tried to be Metal Gear Solid quality wise, and we failed. But
It didn't also help John Tobias left and they had to rush the game out.
yeah, that too. But it is Ronan's turn. What do you think of Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection so far, and the games included? And what do you think those 4 games are that's in the question marks? What do you want them to be?
Honestly, I would say this: I'm happy for this collection because I played these games as a child, even though I was never supposed to, because my mom never said it was too gory for me. But still, I'm happy that we get this collection, and I am and also everyone can experience the peak of Mortal Kombat 4's endings,
Them shits are so
especially
funny.
Jax.
Them shits are so funny. Please, if you don't, if they aren't in, if basically you don't want this collection at all, you just want to laugh. Look at those goddamn endings, because you're gonna laugh so hard, dude. They're so fucking funny.
Oh,
Man.
absolutely. You're gonna have a good time. Like, it's kind of like one of those. It's so stupid, but it turns into funny, turns into like borderline comedy. But those other 4 games, I'm guessing Shaolin Monks. I'm guessing Shaolin Monks with online co-op, hoping, because a lot of MK fans, including myself, have always wanted that. Possibly, and the other ones are probably. This might sound a little bit controversial, but they might just put in just motor combat and chess combat as their own like very own games, as knowing how Warner Brothers and NetherRealm business's problem goes. So hopefully it's the 3D collection of Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon. Which, by the way, I'm the only guys who actually kind of like Armageddon. I hope we get some. Other than that, excited for this collection. Everyone can experience. What's what I was looking for? Shang Tsung cheese. Everyone has to deal with Shao Kahn being a cheap ass bitch. Than he always was. Seriously, how many times have you been hit by that command throw and that hammer?
If they put trilogy in this game, fuck Shao Kahn. Literally.
Indeed. But like I said, I hope we experience peak like in those MK4 endings. Never, sorcerer.
And Liu Kang
Never,
getting
sorcerer.
mulched. What? This is a trap.
Wrong, Jared. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
I am not a man of my word. All deals are off.
I could kill you in a mere thought.
I could kill you with a mere thought.
If you are not the perpetrator, then who is? I am the one you seek.
Are we supposed to rule a realm with nobody in it?
I'm gonna have to do a playthrough of MK4. These games are just so peak stupidity. It just has to happen.
And plus the voice acting, like you gotta admit those like background gibberish sounds they do. It's just borderline comedy. Like Mortal Kombat 4 to me will always be like that one of those games is so stupid, but you love it at the same time.
Oh, I'm gonna throw you over there.
But outside of Liu Kang sounding like a turkey, we have to move on to the next one, and that is Armor
Wait a minute,
King.
what?
Hmm?
What about me?
Oh, you didn't go yet? Damn, I forgot.
No.
Well, go ahead, sir.
Oh yeah, you did say you want to go last.
I said I was gonna go last.
I forgot. Go ahead.
You can expect this game to suck at this collection to suck ass in the online department because when was the last time Digital Eclipse did a game with decent online?
Cowabunga collection.
I don't count that.
Like it will have decent rollback. It just won't have modern features. You're not getting crossplay.
Oh,
Oh,
I
no,
definitely expect that.
You are not getting
No.
a Wi-Fi indicator.
No.
You'll count your lucky
yeah,
stars if this
lobbies is
game
the
includes a
question.
Wi-Fi indicator.
You know what collection did have a Wi-Fi indicator that was crossplay? XYZ? The Breakers collection. And that's a game no one will ever hear of because it's the most niche fighting game known to man.
I bought it on Xbox. Man.
I have it on both platforms, so. A Brazilian team too, by the way, made that collection, and that has crossplay, despite being only 2 games, but it's possible, but you know.
Since this is the fighting game podcast, I think they also did the Rage of the Dragons re-release, and that is a high-quality re-release of a niche Neo Geo fighter, and it is one I definitely recommend, even if the price tag for a single game is kind of niche. I think it's the $20 department.
Thank you for reminding me because I got a shout out to them because there was a sweepstake they give out the codes to that re-release, and I was lucky enough to win that, to win one of those codes. So I appreciate them for looking out. Yeah, you should check that game out if you want to relive the niche of Rage of the Dragon. Back to the MK collection. Oh boy. My only concern would be is for Game Boy games, is MK3 gonna be on it? Because oh boy, MK3 on Game Boy was the worst Game Boy MK game that they ever release.
Come to
I
think of
mean,
it,
MK4
MK3 on Game Gear is worse. How worse is it? It was never released in North America. Worse. So that's a game I'm curious if they'll include.
Was there a MK4 Game Boy?
It
Game
was
Boy.
developed by Digital Eclipse.
Oh, so that's definitely gonna be in there. Oh,
Yeah, and it was pretty trashy. I mean, well, didn't like all the fatalities use like, and it was black and white.
One button fatalities before we even got a mainstream. Holy shit.
They're impossible to pull off, but yeah, they're basically grainy FMVs.
I'm just only gonna get the collection for the basic MK mainline games. I don't care about the console ports unless it's fucking MK4, not Gold Edition.
We played that. That was some pure wonton garbage of
That's the one version I don't want them to bring back. I would
Oh.
accept vanilla MK4. It was fine as it was.
Jesus fuck, man. Just seeing all the bugs and glitches, holy shit. Well, we can finally move on to Armor King. So, after the disappointing taste in the mouth, like some sardines and shit, Fakaram, or fuck your mom, as Max likes to say, we finally got the reveal of another character, and that's Armor King in Tekken 8. How do you feel about him? We'll go with Kaneki first.
Man, I love Armor King. I'm glad he's back in this season, but And he looks cool too. He looks like an Elden Ring character. I forgot which Elden Ring character they made his outfit based off because Armor King never wore something like that for his new Tekken 8 outfit. It's an Elden Ring look. Um, that being said, though, I'm gonna be one of those people and say Armor King is not gonna save the season. We was just I'm waiting for the next season of Tekken because they ruined this season for me.
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm not really. This pass and how everything has gone, and once again, we talked about all that on the last episode, and the patches and whatnot, and the lack of transparency, and Michael Murray blocking everyone he sees. I just want to go to season 3 already, and hopefully it's a clean slate with the old team that worked on the online for Tekken 8, because this has been an absolute disaster in my personal opinion. And even going back and playing a little bit of season 2, I was just like, I'm really fighting an uphill battle after they bought down my rank. And my
I
character's
uninstalled
Kim.
the game.
Yep, that will show it right there. Uninstall clean for certain people. It makes sense. As for Armor King, he looks fine. I'm sure he's gonna do crazy king things and grabs and whatnot. It probably will be enjoyable. I don't know about how they're gonna coordinate the new character. If he or she is cool, then I'm fine with it. But at this point, I'm just kind of like the characters themselves. It just ranges from eh. I just want to move on to the next season because this patch has been absolute a travesty with all the changes that they have made so far. Um, I guess we'll see what happens with it. I'll keep playing and I'll keep guys posted, but at that point, I was just like, yeah, it's whatever at this rate. Next up is Ronan. It's your turn. How do you feel about Tekken so far with Armor King being introduced in this new update?
Armor King, literally king but better, and his design, oh my god, is super. Like this has got to be his best design since Tekken 7. Like it looks amazing. First he was spitting poison, now he's spitting fire, which I love. Um, we don't talk about fuck your mother. I mean fuck Ram. My bad. My bad. We don't talk about Faku Ram because the better Muay Thai fighters in Street Fighter 6. So, and this patch, boy, I had to surrender. I had to play a whole bunch of other fighting games other than Tekken 8 because of the patch. And like you said, Rin, everyone the developers blocking everyone, saying like, "Oh yeah, you ruined Tekken 8." And I hopefully, and with this new character being announced any day of the week or any day of the month or whatever, I really hope we get to see some new stuff with Tekken 8. Tekken 8. So other than that, this patch I can say is this patch is horrible. Fakuram, a wasted slot. But Armor King though, I'm happy he's back because we get to see the more of the rivalry between King and Armor King.
Oh yeah, that was a very interesting little tidbit that they pulled as well. I can't wait to see what they do with that story wise.
Yeah, because I mean Craig Marduk is not there yet. Well, not yet, but I just hope we get to see more of the rivalry between King and Armor King.
I
What
think
they're gonna do.
Marduk's gonna
Oh,
be
you're about to
next
say?
season. He's gonna be next season because I swear when they were talking about all the leaks and shit, they kind of got it backwards. But Fakaram was in there. Fakaram was indeed in there, but he didn't come in the season that they illustrated. But I think Marduk's gonna be next one.
Yep. So I really hope they explore what's more the lore with Armor King and King now. Is he full evil? Is Armor King like pure evil? Is he gonna kill Craig Marduk? Is he joining? I mean, since the war is already over, what's gonna happen with him? So I want to ask, like, what's this new deal with Armor King, and why does he look so cool?
Rad, I know you did not get an opportunity to talk about season 2, but now's the time, considering Armor King is dropping. What do you think about all this?
I don't get the boner for Armor King. When it comes to alternate versions of characters, you at least have some type of trait that sets them apart from the original. Kusanagi in KOF is basically Kyo Classic. You know the stuff that Evil Ryu can do, and I don't get that feeling with Armor King, because it's just King again, and that's how I've always seen him. Say what you want about Fakunram, he is a unique and original character. I don't get that feeling with Armor King. I just feel like it's King again. So, other than Anna, season 2 is a total dud for me in terms of additional characters. I'm waiting for number 4 to surprise me, but knowing this game, it's going to be another Mishima, probably Jinpachi, to make Reina even more pointless. As for the season 2 experience, I'm going to be that guy. I think this is the most fun Tekken has been in a while. I didn't get a chance to say it when we were ranking Tekken games. I think Tekken 8 is the best one in general. I don't think I can go back to past Tekken games anymore, because Tekken to me is just heat mode and all these cool heat follow-ups, and I picked up Lily when she got her classic costume, and as much as I am a ride or die Elisa player, I have gotten higher up in the ranks with Lily than I ever did with Elisa. Just as recently as last week, I got my fingertips on purple ranks. I am a mighty ruler now. I've never been a mighty ruler in any Tekken game in my life. So I have to be biased. I can't say this is a complete wash because of I have my performance rank to back me up and tell me, Rad, I'm not the worst. Look at you. You're better than you've ever been. How can you say I suck? Look how much fun you're having. Because I am a general aggro player when it comes to Tekken. And knowing that I play Lily, a wonderfully defensive character, it means I have a bit of an uphill battle in my department. But it's just I find it's a battle worth fighting half the time. I feel like I'm playing Tekken 8 more so than Street Fighter 6. And that's a weird statement. I know I have more hours in Street Fighter 6, but I'm just not playing it as much today as I am Tekken. So, while the characters are not necessarily doing any favors to bring me closer into the fold, I have my characters, and the game has 30 of them. I don't think characters are going to be the make or break for bringing people into Tekken 8, let alone bringing them back. So you can bring in whoever you want. The ship is sinking and you're slowly plugging it in the eyes of the community, but for me, Tekken's never been better. So I'm in the large minority in that department, and I don't care. Eat my mighty ruler.
Alright, somebody nerf Lily now. Nerf all his characters, damn it. But next up is Andre. How do you feel about Armor King so far?
I gotta say though, release the block list, Murray. Release the block list.
We made
Okay,
jokes about that last. We made jokes about that last podcast. Don't worry.
He looks awesome. I love his new design. I think when it comes to designs and Tekken, Armor King's probably at least the second one. He always never disappointed. Like I love his Tekken 7 look, and his Tekken 8 look is not slouchy either. He's always been really great in the design department. I am kind of curious how he's gonna play though, because in his trailer, it shows him like breathing fires and shit like that. So I'm like, is that gonna be like a move? Like he'll breathe fire and heat? Which boy. As for Tekken in general, the season pass, it's not really okay. So I have a really complicated relationship with Tekken 8. I like it and I dislike it because all the like I said, stuff with heat and just really how they made a lot of the characters unga bunga now. Like they became really gorilla based characters. I still enjoy the game and learning new characters from time to time. And hell, I'd probably say I enjoy it a bit more than Street Fighter 6 at times. But I was thinking that I don't know. I don't hate Tekken completely. Like if I have to really rate this game, like if I tier list, I maybe put like maybe like a low A tier and a high B tier. Like it's a fun game, but when it gets nonsensical, it really drags the game down. But I do like Armor King's look. I probably might go back to second, maybe at the end of the year. I'm sort of just to see who the final character is. Oh yeah, that's how I feel. It's an 8 out of 10. Really fun, but it's got some issues that hold it back a bit. But yeah, overall, yeah, Tekken 8 is Tekken 8 is Tekken 8. Probably go back to it someday, but that's really all I have to say.
I still think peak Tekken experience for me is still Tekken 3 and Tag 1. Tag 2 is alright, but the stupid bounding system from Tekken 6 got on my goddamn nerves. I couldn't stand it. But Drill, it is your turn. What do you think about Armor King? Also, yeah, Tekken 5 is a banger too.
About time they added it, but he's another DLC character being added as DLC again. Same with Bomb. I feel like they should have put Armor King in base roster, but that's besides the point. I'm still waiting for them to add in characters I want, like Julia. But other than that, I mean, Tekken 8's been like mixed for me. It was fun at the beginning, but then people started to like see all the problems with it, like being way too aggressive, being way too offensive focused, all of the whole means about it being a casino game. And also the fact is that they were basically just turning it into a 2D fighter with how powerful Heat was. I kind of stopped for a while, but I don't know if I would ever go back again. Mainly because I'm still not a fan of the state of the game. But if they really are truly trying to fix the game, then I guess I'll give it a shot. But who knows? It really depends how season 3 comes up. Maybe it'll improve for the better, but or maybe it won't. It won't. Like I still have issues with both Street Fighter 6 and 8 and Tekken 8, but hopefully they at least turn things around because nobody wants to see a fighting game fail. Even if Banco did shoot themselves in the foot multiple times, but hopefully they avoid that issue altogether. I mean, I'm not gonna like rag on Harada because it does sound like Bandai Namco suits got in the way a lot with the DLC fiasco and of course the direction the game is going in, and also all the DLC stuff. But that's besides the point. Like I do hope Tekken 8 does get better. Although hopefully one of those characters they add in season 2 or 3 is Julia.
All right, so we're moving on to the next question, and that's the Bleach Rebirth of Souls question, and that is they just released their DLC for that game. It came out with a rank mode, and they have Ichigo from Thousand Year Blood War playable for the first time in this game. How do you guys think about it so far? And I guess I'll start first since I have the DLC. Uh, so, as for Ichigo himself and how broken this character is, he's OP. I'll just say that now. I managed to get a 60 hit combo literally just by chaining in two moves, and that was it. You just do a couple of lights, keep doing heavy, and then you do the spiritual pressure reverse, and you keep slicing people until the goddamn bar goes red. He's gonna get nerfed. I already know. They nerfed several people in this game. Unfortunately, some of my mains got hit, Grimjow and Soifon, and a couple of other people got helped in this game as well, which I guess was Hitsugaya and also somebody else that got helped by this. I think Rukia, because people said Rukia and also Shinji was kind of shit, but now they have like some tools to sort of help them. So those characters that people really never really played as are now getting picked up because they got buffed, and then they just did some stupid stuff like nerf Grimjow for no reason, even though he's a B tier character. So it's a couple of things in this patch I like, a couple of things that I did not like, and I think that Ichigo is gonna get nerfed to shit, just like Bankai Ichigo, because they had to do that as well. So for every step forward, it's a slight step backward, but I would say the game in its state now is probably the best it's been in so far. Uh, as for everything else, it's fun, but they definitely needed to do this stuff near launch, because that kind of it kind of fell into the whole, this is what we do at Bandai Namco. We send our 3D arena anime fighters to die without lack of features and whatnot, and then when it's time to save the game, it might be a little bit too late. And that's kind of what they went through, but now it's at its most stable, at its most fine, and hopefully the game continues to get better updates as we go along. And like I said, Ichigo's fucking insane in this game. When he does a special move, that shit is crazy. I know people are complaining, oh, they spoil the anime watchers, but I believe people said we already seen this form already of Horn of Salvation long before, and someone said it's even in Jump Force, so I'm just like, well, go figure if it was in that game. But yeah, it's hype, and I think Johnny Young Bosch did very, very great with the voice of that so far, so I can't wait to see it in the anime too. Yeah, it's comparable to how they treat Storm. It's just it's something they have to do with anime arena fighters. Stop sending them to die for the love of God, because that hurts the game in the long run, and it sucks because I like the gameplay of this game, but they really fucked up the modes and the features in the beginning.
Wasn't it with Storm 4? Like the devs just got tired of the anime being stuck in filler hell that they said, fuck it, we'll just adapt the ending.
Or we'll do some new content and see if that sticks.
Like, I remember seeing the ending of Naruto before it was in Storm 4, before it was even in the anime.
Oh yeah,
Because
when
they kept
Sasuke, when their arms got blown off, that's where I saw it too.
But they couldn't show gore, so they had to make it black blood.
Oh yeah, they had to censor it. Yeah, I remember.
I remember Storm 3 ending when Naruto was finally fighting Obito, but we didn't know Obito yet. It's because they weren't ahead of the fucking war yet. They decided they had to make a different ending just for Storm 4. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I think Storm 3 wrapped up. I think its development wrapped up before they got to Obito being unmasked. So yeah, that's why they had to change the ending.
It could be worse. It could be Storm Connections where you have AI voice acting.
No, we good. We good.
Did that wake you up?
Wake you up,
bro?
Oh God! But
don't bring that shit up ever again.
I'll give a thumbs up. I'll be fair. I'll give a thumbs up to at least Bleach. It's pretty fun. And I just hope they expand the lobbies to be multiple players in spectator mode. Once you do all that and add in a lot more, I think a lot more people will be inclined to pick it up. Yeah, crossplay as well, because it kind of sucks right now without crossplay. But if they keep making it better, I'll keep putting thumbs up. Rad, you recently just played this game, and I want your overall thoughts on this and any other thoughts you might have on this question.
So I was intrigued by this game when it was first revealed because no one had any idea it was going to be a fighting game. It's like we were gonna get a proper Bleach action RPG, like Bleach Kakarot. And then it turns out to be just another fighting game. It's some type of arena fighter. and then it came out. And I will get into my initial thoughts on gameplay, but I was all set to like buy this and support this because we don't get a lot of Bleach video games on console anymore, especially of this high a quality. I was just waiting for Orihime to get added. And I'm a big, dumb Orihime nerd with a Funko Pop figure to prove it. Week after week, character trailers were being revealed left and right. Where's Orihime? They're going to add Orihime to the game, right? Look, her model's in the game. It's only a matter of time, and it's like, no. But she's in the PSP fighters and the DS fighter, and you lazy fucks can't even add her to no. And then the second I found out that Orihime was... The second I found out she wasn't going to be in the game, all the interest I had in buying the game day one died. So I bought it when it was like 30% off. And when I actually put fingers to game and actually played it, I don't like it. I don't like the general movement of this game because it is not a 3D arena fighter. It's a 2D game with forward and backward being up and down and like sides stepping. It's like,
Oh, so Kill fighting game?
it's a game where I just don't have a grasp on general feedback of what's happening and how to properly execute it. This feels alien to me. So when I was booting it up and going to like tutorials and training mode, I was in a bit of a character crisis. Mostly because the character I wanted isn't there, but mostly because the characters I tried out, like Yamamoto and Kyoraku and like obviously Grimjo, it's just nothing really stuck. The characters feel sluggish. They feel like they have weights on them. Like you could do cool combos, we just won't let you. Which is why I had to play some speedy ass pixie like Soifan. And she obviously does have her two shots. You probably won't be able to pull it off in a real match unless your opponent is an idiot and isn't familiar with the timing and the fact that it's very blockable. But to me, when you're Soifan and you're throwing out like daggers halfway through your combo to start another combo, that's the sauce I'm talking about. All I've done with this game is tutorial, an easy path mission mode, a couple of online fights where I got my shit pushed in. The only thing I haven't done is touch the story. Considering I have other games on the market, probably not going to anytime soon. But to me, this is kind of I'm of the opposite opinion. I think this game is a failure on all fronts. It's a failure as a proper fighting game. As a recap of the story, I've seen a friend play the story and it kind of semi-succeeds. It doesn't feel complete without certain characters. It's more focused on making sure we get our Soul Society guys, making sure we get all the Espadas, and there's no Barragan. I was not expecting the King to be there because his mechanics are downright bonkers broken. I don't know how you would work out that mechanic in a fighting game, so they probably didn't even try. And I'm not too excited on 1,000 Year Blood War stuff because I was into Bleach when I was in high school, and all this 1,000 Year Blood War stuff, it was after my time. Granted, I'm sort of slowly piercing my way through the anime now, and goddamn emphasis on slow. But yeah, Rebirth of Souls, it just now that I've played it, I have an even more negative taste in my mouth just because it's so alien. It doesn't play like any other arena fighter. It doesn't even play like other fighters. It feels more mashy and what the fuck is going on than Sparking Zero did. And Sparking Zero, man, that game went from an 8 to a 0 when I played that online. It's just a what could have been game. I'm done.
You're saying it's worse than Sparking Zero for you?
So
I can safely say yes.
I'm gonna interject with one final point as someone who does like this game. by virtue, your enjoyment of this game is going to depend how fast you get accustomed to the movement system. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because I was kind of like that a little bit in the tutorial. I'm like, it's kind of like the way you move back, forward, diagonal, it's a little bit weird, but once I got used to doing the Sonido move, getting behind people, dashing behind them and whatnot, and learning how the grab worked, it's a little bit better for me. But yeah, if you don't understand what's going on with most of that tutorial and how the movement operates, you are not going to have a good time with this game. It was kind of foreign, alien to me at first. But when I got used to it, I started having a little bit more fun with it. And yes, there is some characters that are faster than others. Obviously, Yoruichi, Soifon, they just completely tank through people that are super slow. And then there's times where Yamamoto will eat their lunch. So it all depends on how you know how the game plays and the spacing and whatnot. And that's kind of how it's coordinated. It's weird, but I kind of get behind the vibe of it, honestly, as opposed to other games where it's just like, I can see this dying off in like literally 2 days because I've seen worse anime fighters. But again, I don't like the lack of support that they basically didn't give this game at launch, and that's kind of why it suffered a little bit. So I would say personally, try it when it gets cheap. They will keep updating the game. They just updated the game now with supposedly 10 other DLC slots. I would imagine they're going to implement the full bringers and other characters in there that did not make the cut. So you might see those characters pop in a little bit later. But that's all I got to say about Bleach for now, unless Ronan wants to say something, and then we'll move to the last question.
Gladly. Thousand Year Blood War Ichigo as the DLC character. I like it. I mean, then again, it's kind of I would say too little too late, since, spoilers. Spoilers for anime watchers, but manga readers like myself know about the interesting parts of that form, and the way I see that character like right now, thanks to my buddy, shout out to my buddy Gensuga Slayer. And the way he works is unstoppable. And yeah, Johnny Umbosh still kills it as a Ichigo Kurosaki. For Rebirth of Souls, it's still doing. I still like the game. Still getting into it, by the way. And yeah, with those DLC characters, I can see like Fullbringers or Yuhaba, or any of what's his name? Yuhaba, what's his name?
Yuhabaha is coming in this pass. He's going to be the last character.
What was his name? Hushwall, yeah, Hushwall or Beetlebuzz would probably be in the game as well, or Grimmy.
You mean Basby?
Or Besby, I'm sorry. And I hate to be that guy. Bumbietta.
I will finally be happy because I actually like that character. So I know she's a thought. I am 100% aware.
I mean, everyone likes Bambi though.
Yes, but
Listen,
she is a thought, so it is what it is.
I was gonna say, like I said, you already know what type of audience she's gonna attract for that game. All I can say is
I gotta also add in Candace as well.
She fucked the man and killed him, like literally point blank period. I'm just like, what the fuck is it? It's like, oh, okay, that happened. So his head got squished.
But how much you bet they're gonna add in Giselle as well?
They're not gonna add her. I'm sorry, but they're not gonna add any of the quote unquote magical girls in the game. But because Bombietta is gonna be the main attraction.
You got to do the full bringers first.
Yeah, yep. Gotta get Ginjo.
I mean, I'm not surprised they didn't
Ginjo.
add them because they're the Fullbringer arc is just very unpopular.
That gives you your chance to get another Ichigo.
I can see.
And also mainly because the Fullbringer arc is what killed a lot of interest for people in Bleach.
I see a lot of people defending that arc too. They actually do really like it.
I'm one of the defenders, by the way, because I enjoyed the Fullbringer arc because
I remember back in the day, people were shitting on it, saying that it was the worst arc in Bleach.
No, 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 no. That is the bout.
Yeah, but that's not canon though.
I know, but
Thank
still.
God. Thank God it's not.
I
You
mean,
know
I can
what?
see.
You know what? They really should give me Jinkaria as DLC. I will buy that.
I don't
So
know.
I can see.
I'll just wait
Also
for
for
you,
the
Baha.
DLC.
Wait for
Yes,
you,
for the
Baha.
Fullbringers for the DLC, I can see like either Tsukishima, Ginjo, uh, Jackie as well. I think her name was Jackie, I believe, who had the boots. I think her name was Jackie or something like that. Yuki. I don't think Yukio would be a playable character. Rin. And then there's yeah. Then there's that one girl character who fell in love with Ichigo. That pink haired chick. I forgot her name. Rikia. She was like obsessed with cute stuff.
She,
Ririka?
yeah,
Ryuka. Yeah. Ryuka.
I mean, I think they'll probably add her.
Yeah. So that's probably gonna be the next few characters they're gonna add for River Soul DLC.
If
Surprised
they
we didn't get more Lizards like Hiyori.
if they keep the updates interesting, I think there could be a bounce back, but they can't go radio silent like they did for almost 6 months. That is fucking insanity in my opinion. But as I said, I think it's more Bamco rushing than anything else, like most people have said online, so I do think that's part of the problem. But we will see. It's in a good state now, and I like it so far, but it depends on the rest of these updates, I guess. Alright, this is the final question, which is the beat 'em up question that we always do at the end of the podcast. So they showed off a few things, a couple of surprises. So they got a couple of demos out for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. They showed more of Shinobi gameplay. Act of Blood or Acts of Blood was there, and people are calling it, oh, it's like the next Sifu. They also have a new Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up coming out, and they showed off Rocket Raccoon and She-Hulk in the new Marvel Cosmic game by Dot Emo. Are you excited about any of these games so far? Rat, you go first.
I'm only really excited for a few of them because I did play the demo for Ragebound, and it has kind of this Dust Force momentum type action game where you have to constantly be killing and moving and killing in the correct way against some enemies. So Ninja Gaiden will not disappoint people who want speed in their action game, and that's definitely where Ragebound is. And the second character they've added definitely adds another dimension to just general traversal. I feel like it's a bit strict. Uh, I feel like those sections have a bit too strict of a timing to them, but that's probably a skill issue on my part. And oh god, I don't envy the hard mode runs if it's what I think it is, like single segment bullshit. That's a no thank you from yours truly. But yeah, that's probably that's going to be fun, and I believe that is a next month game. I'm definitely keeping an eye out for it. I don't necessarily care for Shinobi. It's definitely in the right hands, but I've never been a large Shinobi fan. I like Revenge of Shinobi all the same, but the franchise didn't grab me like Ninja Gaiden did. It's mind blowing that Scott Pilgrim is getting a new game, considering versus the World the game was good, then it disappeared, then it came back, and now this game has a new publisher on it, and it's all the same crew back, and it's a River City Ransom type, which is the correct move for a Scott Pilgrim game. So I'm all for that. I would like to know more about it. Obviously, you know I'm down with my Marvel Cosmic beat 'em up dealy. A Rocket Raccoon is whatever. It's a Rocket Raccoon edition. I don't feel strongly one way or the other. I love how hilariously muscly they made She-Hulk. Rightfully so, because that's a gamma radiated woman you're working with there. She better have muscles coming out of her muscles. So at least the character variety is going to be outstanding. I believe during Summer Games Fest, during the presentation, it was mentioned that it's going to be a 15 character roster, which sounds about right. That's about the level I'm expecting that game to be, because Streets of Rage 4, when all was said and done, was like 20 characters or something in that department. So yeah, I'm not expecting a huge roster. 15 seems safe, but it means that I have a feeling a few fan favorites are going to be left on the cutting room floor, which DLC packs. This is how this works. Still pumped for Cosmic Invasion. Done.
All right, it is my turn. I'll go real quick. So I need to play the demo for Axe of Blood and Ragebound, but so far I saw gameplay for Ragebound, and my god, I love it. I was talking about how someone no damage Hayabusa, and then the cutscene just ended with him doing a fucking Azuna drop on the player character. I'm like, no, you do not get no damage on me. I will get the last laugh during this. This is a test, and it's so fantastic. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this game for sure. It just looks very fun, very vibrant, all the things you want with a 2D sort of platforming beat 'em up. And I can say the same for Shinobi, except in that game it seems they have a lot more super moves, a lot more of here's how we pause the world as Shinobi fucks you up, because all these people are getting like cut in half and leaves are falling out now. It's very crazy. I want to get my hands on it and stress the combat most definitely. As for everything else, I do agree with Rad for Marvel Cosmic. I'm not really the biggest Rocket Raccoon person. I think yes, he works well in the Guardians, but I never was really the biggest fan. She-Hulk
He'll
though,
never be a Deadpool.
yeah, Deadpool or She-Hulk. If they put Deadpool in this game, that's fine. And She-Hulk is very good, and I'm glad she's here and she's representing, and you could just body slam people, which is what I fully expected her to do. So that's one of the more exciting things I see about this game. Very interesting stuff, and the more characters, the merrier. I just hope they put in maybe a couple more different X-Men and some other obscure characters in there, and we're good to go. It'll be a fun game, definitely. I look forward to all the .emu stuff. They did a great job with Streets of Rage, so this is really no different for me. And next up is Kaneki. What do you think of all these beat 'em ups so far?
You left out at the Shinobi part of the fact that Shinobi can do combos now for some reason. It's not just a one-hit wonder anymore.
I
What
did see that he can do air combos like a motherfucker in this game, actually.
Like, are they trying to make him as the next Ryu Hayabusa in that franchise? Because if so, I'm all for it. I am more interested in that than Ninja Gaiden, just because Ninja Gaiden is going to be Ninja Gaiden at the end of the day. Nothing will change outside of the new characters and, not playing as Ryu, but playing as a totally different character. I think that will do fine. I'm just more interested in the fact that Joe can fucking do combos now instead of just killing enemies with one swing. As for the Marvel stuff, they're fine. I just want more fan favorites to be in there outside of Venom and Spider-Man. If they could add Deadpool, is Doctor Doom playable or not yet?
Fuck, I forgot. Forgot. If he is, though, that'd be hype. I mean, one thing I didn't even talk about was Doom has a fucking gun now in Marvel Tokon, and that makes him a dangerous threat.
Joe has a gun.
Doom has a gun. Hopefully, we get more moments like that.
You see, I need that especially for a beat 'em up like that. We need that Doctor Doom. He use a gun.
Yeah, they should have an inverse side of villains that you can play with, and that'll be pretty cool to mix that up a
Yes.
little bit. I want to play as Punisher and
Oh,
fucking King Pandemic.
and Scott Pilgrim finally free from Ubisoft bullshit. Thank God we can finally preserve the new beat 'em up of Scott Pilgrim. Ren, you know how long I've been waiting for them to be free from Ubisoft?
Years.
You know we don't own Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I know. Yes, they said it themselves.
We don't own their games. Well, fuck you. We're not buying them. Anyways, I am interested to see what they're gonna do with this new beat 'em up game, and then especially since it's not from Ubisoft, I'll try to get a physical copy as long as it's not by limited run games, because I want to preserve this one.
Ronan, it is your turn. What do you think of all these beat 'em ups so far?
The Marvel one interests me a bit. I mean, I played the Ninja Gaiden one. I mean, I don't think the Ninja Gaiden one's out right now, but is it?
No, just a demo.
Oh, the demo of it? Yeah. I played the demo of it and I absolutely loved the Ninja Gaiden one. I haven't played the Shinobi one yet, so I'm curious about how that will work. The Marvel, like Rocket and She-Hulk, I'm happy they're in the game because my buddy is a huge fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He loves Rocket, and he can finally play as his best character, quote unquote, the best Guardian of the Galaxy. She-Hulk be in the game. Yep, you're gonna need that little. You're gonna have that satisfaction of body slamming and throwing people into like the streets of LA or something like that, or New York. So I'm happy for the Marvel game, the Marvel side. It's like Marvel. It's like Marvel is winning, and when it comes to games, like think of when you think about it, Marvel Rivals, Marvel Token, the beat 'em up. Like
Hey,
they're
Warner
really
Brothers, are you taking notes? Oh wait, you're too busy with Saslov.
WB Games
oh,
talks. Someone made a meme of this. We riffed on this in the other server. It is absolutely criminal how Marvel Games has taken over the superhero scene, and with DC and all their rich characters, we get nothing jack squat.
the only
It's
way
like,
to save this right now is the only way to save this for DC is Injustice 3. We
The
all know that's
no,
it.
best
no.
you get is DC superhero girls. Think about that.
Someone wants
I will
DC
think about
Rivals,
that.
and I'm like, that shit's gonna be broken
Hold on.
if they do it.
You're talking about that Switch game that no one plays?
The Switch game no one plays.
I hate you, Rat. Just know that.
That's all I have to say.
Also, where's my Ultimate Alliance 3 PC port?
Yeah, because
Damn it!
I know.
they need to port that soon. God damn it. Drill, it is your turn. What do you think of all this beat 'em up news?
I mean, it's really good. It's nice to see Marvel games actually get more beat 'em up lately, considering that it's been considering that we were pretty light on it for years. But it's cool to see like a 2D one. I hope it at least leads to more another X-Men Legends or Ultimate Alliance 4. Rocket is, I mean, Rocket. I guess he was gonna be in because he's popular and She-Hulk is cool. I do hope that they put more like wild card Marvel characters in it. Maybe like Bishop or someone like Bishop, Cable, maybe someone like trying to think. Maybe like Daredevil would be cool. Have they said what the whole roster is gonna be?
No, not yet. Only that there might be like 14, 15 characters.
I mean, we know Spider-Man's gonna be in it, right? And Venom.
More than likely, because Spider-Man
Venom,
is.
at this point, they're the main factors. Well, actually, I don't know if Venom will be in the new Marvel fighting game, but he should be.
Probably. But it would be interesting to see what the beat 'em ups. Well, how hopefully they supported content because the Ninja Turtles one, as much fun as it was, it felt like there wasn't much to do after you beat the main game. And then they did add in the roguelike mode, but I beat it in I think like you can beat it under like an hour or two. I think it took me like 2 hours to watch it again. at least Karai was a fun character. But I do hope they give us more just the main story. Like maybe give us like a survival something like something else that isn't just the main story.
Versus and no questions asked, I would play that shit day one on Parsec.
Yeah. Unless they add in online or in crossplay.
I'll take that too.
Yeah. But but yeah, like have you ever you ever remember that one game like the Spider-Man Carnage game that was on SNES?
Uh, Separation Anxiety and Maximum Carnage, I do.
Yeah. Like those were pretty decent. Surprised they haven't tried making another Spider-Man beat 'em up.
But we're gonna move on to Mr. Andre. What do you think of these beat 'em ups so far? If you have any opinions.
Very excited. I'm pretty excited for him. Scott Pilgrim. I'm not really. So this might sound blasphemy to some people, but I'm not really the hugest Scott Pilgrim fan. I like the movie, but it's not favorite. But the game does look cool. Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, Fire. See, I haven't played the Ragebound demo yet, nor the Acts Blood demo. And then as for Marvel Cosmic, yeah, I think you guys said it better than me, but I would definitely like them to do more characters. Yeah, I just want more character reveals for it. But yeah, I think I really got anything else. That's pretty much all I gotta say.
All right, and so we are going to do our outros at this point. Definitely a lot of cool discussion on this podcast so far. And next time we will probably see you guys is a little bit later in the year when they've revealed more information, when more fighters are out, when more characters are out, and fingers crossed for more Virtual Fighter information. I think that is on the horizon for us for sure. So I cannot fucking wait. But you can find me on social media at Renegade Operative on YouTube. You can find me at my new Twitch URL, which is Renegade
Oh, wait.
Operative underscore. Yeah, I changed it because, as I said on the last podcast, some dickhead stole my full name. I don't know who he is. Hopefully he doesn't see me in the street, so I'll put my foot in his ass. And I think that will be all. I'll be uploading this podcast on the Infinite Ammo Syndicate channel and probably do some streams because fuck it, why not? Next up is Kaneki. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on anywhere but Twitch under Rule War Order. Well, actually, Twitch and fucking what people use these days? TikTok? I don't go on that shit. But Twitter, YouTube, Blue Sky, same thing, same username. I would just want to say one more thing: the Ragebound demo should be illegal because the amount of content you could do in that demo, it's like the full game.
I will be playing that as soon as I can after dinner, so if it's really that
Please
good,
do.
don't you worry, I'll be
You
reporting
play, you
back.
play fuck ton of missions in that demo. I'm like, how the fuck is this allowed?
He's just like, you know what, pay for a full game now. We probably got more than that. Shit. But
Yeah.
Rat, it is your turn. Where can we find you on social media, buddy?
Not on X. As of last year, you can find me exclusively on Blue Sky at radrad.bsky.social. You can find my YouTube channel, Radrad's Rad Games, where I am currently doing the Chun Legacy, playing through a variety of fighting games that happen to have Chun-Li in them, and I hope to have that done before she is included in City of the Wolves. Fingers crossed.
Ronan, where can we find you, buddy?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Ronin Zero Reaper, Blue Sky. That's social. You can find me in my YouTube channel where I discuss fighting games, power scaling video game characters with friends. On my YouTube channel, Shadow Zero Devil Reaper, and on Twitter X, even though that's we're not going to talk about that. Shin Ronin Zero.
And last but not least, Mr. Andre, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me. It's where you can find me, Andre B Venom. Same on Blue Sky, but it's 95. Probably gonna be streaming tomorrow. I'm likely gonna be streaming quite a bit since my birthday is actually in 12 days. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. But other than that, that's about where you can find me. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then I think we're gonna close out the pod. No, Drill, I'm kidding. Drill, do your outro.
Yeah, you can just find me on Twitter, and Blue Sky is probably 777. That's where I'm really active on. Maybe it'll change in the future, but depends how things go.
Alrighty, and like I said, more whenever they reveal more state of plays and stuff like that, and we're watching definitely more Marvel Tokon and more stuff in the future, we will let you guys know when there is substantial fighting game news, and then we will talk about it. But until then, we at the Buster Wolf Podcast are signing out. Hopefully, you guys have a great day. Be good people and take care of yourselves. Later. Play
Bring back
Ragebound.
Street Fighter and Fortnite.
Play Ragebound now.
Hell
goddammit.
yeah.
My Sagat
yeah,
is
I
going to
forgot
fuck
about
every
Ragebound.
Chung Li in the game. It's going to happen.
Bro,
I
we
gotta
gotta figure
Sounds
out
like a challenge.
this dude.
That sounds
So-
exactly like a challenge.
Oh
Oh,
boy,
you're
I
very
don't
good.
mind. We
So,
gotta
Rod,
get back
have you
into it
done
anyway.
VCI yet?
In VCR?
Oh,
What?
What?
no.
playable?
I recently did Capcom vs. SNK.
I mean,
CVS
she
2
is
should be next.
playable. She is playable
Question,
in NBCI.
Oh, I was just. Oh,
Yes.
sorry to ask. I was gonna